you don't eat, you don't grind, you don't shine. No ifs, ands, or buts, bottom line. That's why I'm on a mission to keep the paper flipping. I got to get a house before I start wood gripping. If you don't work, you don't eat, you don't grind, you don't shine. No ifs, ands, or buts, bottom line. That's why I'm on a mission to keep the paper flipping. I got to get a house before I start wood gripping. My routine, 90% grinding, 10% sleep. I peep game when I'm asleep. I hold heat when I creep. I'm Mike Jones. I hold chrome, wreck microphones. I flip in my slab all alone. I wish a motherfucker would try to steal my love and wood. It's gonna be no good. Understood, cause I shoot strays. And when the text pay, I have you looking like a client that's on x-ray. I don't delay when it comes to shooting bullets. You talk down, I'ma pull it. Represent the gangster shit to the fullest. I pack a Ruger and get the square like Fred Krueger. You talk down on Mike Jones, and nigga, I do you cause I ain't tripping. I got the Ruger ripping while I'm flipping expedition. Come at Mike Jones, and I shoot shots till your teeth missing. First round draft picks. You come at us wrong and you will be dismissed. Mike Jones. If you don't work, you don't eat, you don't grind, you don't shine. No ifs, ands, or buts, bottom line. That's why I'm on a mission to keep the paper flipping. I got to get a house before I start wood gripping. If you don't work, you don't eat, you don't grind, you don't shine. No ifs, ands, or buts, bottom line. That's why I'm on a mission to keep the paper flipping. I got to get a house before I start wood gripping.
It's Mac. I don't mind. I let a stray one cross, but if you got beef, cool. I got the A1 sauce. You must forgot I pack a Big Mac. I'm running Mickey D's, pop your ass up, leave you bleeding on your Big Mac. Leave you bent like a car fender. I fight dirty. I'm throwing bottles in the club like a bartender. Fuck fighting fair. Niggas remember who won. In these H-Town streets, you gotta remember your gun. You don't wanna get stuck with the filth. You don't want a hospital trip with IV stuck in your wrist. My best advice is, dog, stay in your spot. Cause these bullets got a mind of their own. They hate to stay in the Glock. You like this equal to a Snapple's cost. You got text to your chest, about to make it look like applesauce. So if you want a sample, I got 17 reasons to make folks forget about your like Tevin Campbell.
If you don't work, you don't eat, you don't grind, you don't shine. No ifs, ands, or buts, bottom line. That's why I'm on a mission to keep the paper flipping. I got to get a house before I start wood gripping. If you don't work, you don't eat, you don't grind, you don't shine. No ifs, ands, or buts, bottom line. That's why I'm on a mission to keep the paper flipping. I got to get a house before I start wood gripping. You might see me in the lab, 418s black on black, sitting low, holding gag, waiting for a nigga to jack. When it's time I get crunk, I got Rugers, I got pumps, my name show when I pop trunk. Mike Jones is no punk, I got hoes down to die for me, niggas down to ride for me. I got friends, I got rivalries, a lot of niggas watching me. You can look but don't touch, cause if you touch then I bust. Push a house, switch the blast, if y'all didn't know we can't be touched.
We can't be touched because we move like powder. And I don't mind shooting at a nigga if it's smooth and sour. I'm a technique flower. This ain't New York, but you better stay undercover like Malik Yoba. Cause we looking for your big guns, 40 kind. We not from San Francisco, but we got 49. And if you probably heard the gat, it was me, trigger pull. Cause I run with the wolves like Wally Zerbiak.
If you don't work, you don't eat, you don't grind, you don't shine. No ifs, ands, or buts, bottom line. That's why I'm on a mission to keep the paper flipping. I got to get a house before I start wood gripping. If you don't work, you don't eat, you don't grind, you don't shine. No ifs, ands, or buts, bottom line. That's why I'm on a mission to keep the paper flipping. I got to get a house before I start wood gripping. If you don't work, you don't eat, you don't grind, you don't shine. No ifs, ands, or buts, bottom line. That's why I'm on a mission to keep the paper flipping. I got to get a house before I start wood gripping. If you don't work, you don't eat, you don't grind, you don't shine. No ifs, ands, or buts, bottom line. That's why I'm on a mission to keep the paper flipping. I got to get a house before I start wood gripping.
Mike Jones. Who? Mike Jones. Who? Mike Jones, bitch. Thank you, first round draft picks. I'm Harry. This is Tyson.
Let me talk to you. I remember driving in the snow to get that CD.
Yeah, I remember. That's a high school throwback right there.
Yeah,
But Tyson, how you going?
Oh, we gotta go get it. It's gonna be sold out in the snowstorm, and then the place wasn't even open when we got there.
Oh yeah, shit. because it was the snowstorm. And
Yeah.
down south, they don't do the snow.
Yeah, if it's snow, you gotta shut this whole city down.
Which is funny. Up north, they do everything they can to get through the snow. Like there was one year, there was a blizzard, and these motherfuckers were riding snowmobiles just on the road.
Sounds like fun.
It does sound like fun, but I'm like, you motherfucking engine or inventive bastards. But yeah, we were out last week. Tyson was sick, and I'll be honest, I just didn't want to do it alone. I was scared.
Yeah, I was sick. Put it on me. But it wasn't that thing. It was just the sickness.
Can we still not talk about it?
I like to play it safe.
Okay.
That was the one time that we got a strike.
Well, if there was any episode to get struck, it was probably that one.
Yeah, we didn't have. We just went.
Yeah.
No plan, just off the cuff, 100%. That's why.
The only thing that I regret is I kind of enjoyed the thumbnail that I made.
I don't remember it.
It was a Seinfeld.
Oh. Oh, yeah. We even titled it a show about nothing.
Yeah. Anyway, that's enough of the preamble. Let's go ahead and get into some
Let's jump into it.
Some wrestling. We start off with Survivor Series.
Oh, we are?
We are, yeah.
Okay.
Vancouver, British Columbia. Our walkers are Team Ripley, Team Useless Liv Morgan, LA Knight, The New Bloodline, Heyman, Punk, Jay and Sammy, and then Roman and Jimmy. It's kind of weird that they're all like separate. Which is the New Bloodline is a team. They're a cohesive unit. The old Bloodline are just their own individual things. Just think it's a weird dichotomy. And I believe they used T-Pain's version of War Games. It was awesome. T-Pain rocks. Okay. And Corey Graves and Michael Cole are on commentary. And yeah. They were actually pretty good. Corey Graves especially. I liked especially like the Shinsuke Nakamura match. How he brought Shinsuke's like New Japan history and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of went into the lore. He didn't just go to the superficial shit like his partner does. So right off the bat, we have women's War Games. Ripley had a Slipknot mask. She should make it permanent, but never mind. She took it off like when the War Games officially started.
I was like, how's she gonna wrestle in that thing? Like,
I thought
it had horns on it.
Yeah. She, I mean, she tussled a bit.
Yeah.
Bailey and Jax started. Fuck Naomi. She started her part wearing a birthday hat. And then she grabbed a toilet seat and a kendo stick. And for some reason, the kendo stick was yellow or green or something. She also smacked herself in the face with it when she hit Nia.
It was her birthday. That's why.
Okay, yeah, that's a good message to send for the War Games match. Just wear your fucking birthday hat.
Yeah. And the kendo stick matching your outfit.
Yeah. And the toilet seat. It was funny when she hit herself, though. I laughed. I have no idea why the baby faces would have War Games advantage. Like, I don't know who thought it was. I also don't know who thought it was a good idea to put like one of your women's champions in a position to get their ass beat for 5 minutes. Naomi did a fucking stink face to Nia with the toilet seat wrapped around her head. War Games. I don't know what the bitches were doing with the chair shots God damn, Nia is useless.
Boy, those chair shots. Now, I put out on Twitter about those chair shots. I don't even think it was all Nia's fault. I think it was...
She swung the chair.
She did. But if you watched it, okay, she goes to the chair, or she goes to hit Naomi with the chair. Naomi does this.
Yeah.
Like she's about to get hit in the head for some reason, because, you know, it's
Well, she
WWE.
I think she was supposed to stand with her back to Nia, and Nia was supposed to whack her with the chair, but then she turned around and then covered her face. So what Nia should have done is jab her in the stomach like they do.
Well,
and not just like pussy hit her with it.
And that's what I said. Oh, and here I'm told Nia Jax is unsafe and doesn't protect her opponents. And look at this. And now she had the weakest chair shots in history because
she's either reckless and unsafe, or she just sucks. She's slow plotting and just ugh. And it really sticks out because she's the most impressive looking out of all of them. But when she, I don't know, when she's the phoniest out of all of them, it sticks out like a orange hat with a yellow bill.
I just think it was a mixture. Like she couldn't get. It was just like a miscommunication. She didn't ad lib.
I'll give you that, yeah.
And then
but that's on her. She is a champion. She is supposed to be the standard bearer of the women's division, and she can't ad lib a fucking chair shot. I'm not a wrestler, and I thought of that.
Well, I mean, she could have just took Naomi's head off.
She could have done that too, just to eat a fine.
Yeah.
That would have been better, actually. Io came out. She had a custom trash can, and then she moonsaulted off the cage with it. Also, at the same time, Stratton did a swanton. And at the same time, everybody was stood in a cluster, obviously waiting to catch them.
Not even that. There's so much. First of all, it's like they're turning Io, or really they're turning that spot to jump off the top of the cage with something, with the trash can, really.
Yeah.
They're turning that into like I don't know if you were watching wrestling when Kofi Kingston, every year he had like a Royal Rumble elimination spot.
Yeah, his Royal Rumble stunt.
Yeah. And then, and in our retro reviews, it's like, it was almost like they were putting Shelton Benjamin in the ladder match so he can have a spot every year.
Yep.
So that's basically what they're doing with her.
That's all she has.
Yeah, just get out there and do your trash can spot. Now this one was ridiculous. First of all, she was looking for several seconds for this trash can under the ring. She
went on the other side of the ring.
Meanwhile,
didn't she?
Well, she starts, where the door is. She starts there, and then she goes to the other side to find her trash can. Meanwhile, remember, her team is in there getting beat down. and then she finally finds the trash can, and she climbs up the cage where literally no one is in the ring. And then all of a sudden, everybody just comes over.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God.
It was awful. And then she waited so long. Like, she was pumping up the crowd, and then it took her forever to put the trash can over her head. Then she finally jumped. And again, everybody was just obviously standing in the center of the ring, just waiting for her.
Yeah, like, hurry up. And yeah, and then Tiffany Stratton, she's on the other side, and they get the aerial shot and just see people splitting up into their appropriate sides.
Just awful. And yeah, going back just a little bit, I don't understand the whole getting weapons. They started that the first, was it last year? Like, you're using your whole entire and fucking advantage getting weapons.
Oh yeah, for the women, literally everybody.
Yeah,
it's like, oh,
how many fucking weapons do you need?
Go see a weapon.
Why does everybody need their own little special custom weapon? Can't you use a weapon that's already in the fucking ring?
I don't know. I guess it's more about how it's produced or something. Because yeah, they did that last year too. Everybody who won the ring had to get something.
It's just stupid. So Stratton T's cashing in her briefcase, but she didn't because she's a moron. So she had Jackson and Liv dead to rights. They're just laid out in the middle of the ring. She gets a trash can. She digs through it. She pulls out a whole bunch of shit. And finally she pulls out the briefcase. And she holds it up, and then she doesn't know which one she's going to pick. Well, Io comes out of nowhere and sprays her with a fire extinguisher. So why'd you even bring it in?
I don't know. There are people who thought that in the predictions, I saw some people predicting she was going to do it too. Like, she's going to cash in at War Games. And
I feel like it's going to be a Priest thing.
I'm kind of I'm thinking she might do it for this U.S. title. I'm thinking maybe she loses in the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
She makes it to the finals. She loses in the finals. And then, I don't know, jumps. So whoever...
So you're stealing my idea?
No.
You're totally stealing my idea.
I'm saying she jumps whoever... She's in the finals. She loses the match. And then whoever her opponent is, she jumps her after the match and then cashes in. It's like, no, I'm leaving as champion. Cash in. Now, I'm saying that could happen. I still haven't like actually predicted a cash in yet. But I'm saying that could.
Didn't she lose the U.S. tournament?
No, she won.
Oh, I thought she was in the other one.
No, she won tonight or yesterday.
Yeah, I thought that was for the... Oh, it doesn't matter.
That is not to be confused with the Intercontinental title.
Oh, but it will be. So for some reason, Io decides to not trust Bayley, who started the fucking match, and she saved Bianca from getting pinned. At the same time, Io decided to save Bianca from getting pinned. So then Io stops. She looks at Bayley like, "What the fuck are you doing? You're betraying us." Because they got to have that fucking stare down every single goddamn War Games match. So contrived. So contrived.
Yeah.
So next, Jax went through a table. Ripley hit useless Liv Morgan with a riptide off the top rope through a table. 1, 2, 3. So maybe if useless Liv Morgan and the equally useless bitch with the purple hair made out for just a little bit, that could have saved this match. But this was a no for me, dog.
Oh, Candice LeRae. Yeah. Not the best showing for the women there.
Yeah, I think they jumped the shark with the War Games for the women.
Well, they didn't really have a reason to have a War Games for the women.
Exactly.
That's the start of it. But again, we know why they did it.
They need to fucking figure something else out.
It got to a point where people were questioning if they should even, like, maybe War Games shouldn't be every year.
That's the shitty thing about it. Like, you can have War Games every year. You just don't need 2 fucking War Games matches every year. Either build a story for the women or build a story for the men. Don't have both of them.
Well, I think
that's a tall order to ask fans to watch 2 fucking war, especially if they're going to be the women's at least was the 40 minutes.
Yeah, it was about that.
And the men's, I couldn't have been less than that.
That's true.
So I mean, that's an hour of the same fucking match, and one is objectively worse than the other one.
Well, I mean, if they're gonna do it, because I get why they have to do it, because they don't want to get the backlash. They don't want to get the backlash.
They wouldn't get backlash if they fucking put. They would get more praise if they put something creative into it. As opposed to, oh, well, we got to just have the same thing to make it equal. Let's just throw all these bitches together with no rhyme or reason. And then you see what happens when all these bitches with no rhyme or reason get together. It has no rhyme or reason to the match.
Yeah, that's my thing. Like, okay, you're going to do it every year, fine. But you can build to it. Like, it shouldn't be a surprise that you're going to do a War Games match in November.
Right.
So maybe let's start building towards one. You don't just have to, it's like, I don't know. Just be prepared for it. You know you're going to do it, then prepare for it.
I would prefer to see a Survivor Series and a War Games match. It doesn't matter who. Like, you can have 1 year, let the women be in a cage. I don't give a shit about that. And then let the men do it like a traditional Survivor Series match. Or vice versa. The same shit. When you keep doing the same shit, it just sucks. It all sucks.
Well, that's just a bigger problem. That's what happens when you try to appease everybody.
Well, up next we have Shinsuke Nakamura versus LA Knight. Shinsuke came out dressed like a zombie samurai, and that entrance fucking slapped.
Yeah, they did like a WWE exclusive showing like them coming up with it.
Oh, yeah?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I didn't think Def Jam or whatever the fuck their name was. I didn't think they had it in them. Oh, they did Jacob Fatu's. This is good.
Yeah, and I was concerned when they changed his music, but yeah, it works out to this new whatever this is.
It's just eerie and yeah. The ding, 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 ding. So Knight drops the title belt during his entrance. Graves brilliantly worked that into Knight having butterflies in his stomach because Nakamura is different this time around.
And because he got misted.
Graves and Cole said this is a must-win for Nakamura because he went away and reinvented himself. So he has to win this title, his second match back.
Well, he kind of, I don't know.
No, it made sense, but I'm like, you put him in a position where he has to win the title, his second fucking match back.
Yeah.
So Shinsuke hit a release belly to back suplex from the top rope. Knight went all the way over and landed face first. Shinsuke hit Knight with a reverse DDT on the metal divider between the two rings, hit his Kinshasa 1, 2, 3. And I said, I'll be damned.
Yeah, I was surprised too. I was like, when he hit that reverse DDT, I'm like, he actually might win this.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, he did. The crowd was shocked. Everybody was shocked.
Yeah. So it was actually a pretty good match. I mean, it wasn't the greatest thing ever. I think the finish definitely made it elevated in my eyes. And Shinsuke isn't completely out of the shut up territory, but I'm open to listening.
Yeah, I was saying, you can talk again a little bit.
Yeah.
You got to defend it, but you can talk now. You got a few weeks of talking.
Yeah, and I appreciated the samurai bow with the title in the middle of the ring. It was very Japanese. Love me some Japanese imagery. So we get a t-shirt commercial. I don't know why the fuck No Talent Dupree pronounces Otis's name Otis still when she dropped the fake fucking French accent like forever ago.
I don't know.
Then we had Sheamus versus Kaiser versus Braun Breaker. So Sheamus hit a razor's edge off the top rope. He also had Braun beat with a brogue kick. Kaiser pulled the ref out of the ring just before the 3 count. Kaiser got his finish on Sheamus. Braun speared Kaiser, then Sheamus. 1, 2, 3. For me, nothing special. In fact, if you pluck this out of Survivor Series and put it in Raw, I wouldn't have been able to tell the difference.
I thought they put on a pretty good show.
Okay.
I would have. I mean, if not for the main event, you can argue that may have been match of the night. I mean, maybe it's just because the crowd was like super into it towards the end there. It elevates it when the crowd's like hanging on everything.
I think this would have been nicer if it was Sheamus and Braun Breaker, or Braun Breaker and Kaiser. I fucking hate the triple threat shit.
You do.
Because it's not original. It's like, oh man, Sheamus, you're going to have an opportunity for this Intercontinental title with Braun Breaker. But we got to get Kaiser in so he can get his shine too. Got to get his 20 minutes. Can't just have one-on-one matches for these lower belts.
It's seemingly when they do it, they want to protect someone from losing.
Then, come on, man. You can do... Somebody has to lose.
They do.
So maybe don't book them in a championship match if you don't want them to lose that quickly.
Yeah, they got some bigger plan, I guess.
And just think about how many feuds you ruin with the triple threat. Like, you could have El Idiot. You can have him feuding with LA Knight after the other one. Who the fuck did he feud with? Was it Escobar?
Mello?
Oh, okay, yeah. Because they had a triple threat. So, like, he could have had a feud with Carmelo, and then he could have had a feud with Idolo. But instead, they just do the triple threat shit. So it's like, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's bound to happen.
And they're going to do that with the tag team titles, too. Mark my words.
Oh, yeah, it's coming.
So next is Damian Priest versus Gunther. Priest all of a sudden can out-wrestle Gunther. So that's nice. Priest hurt his shoulder in the middle of the match. Gunther treated it like a bullseye. Priest did a Hell's Gate. Gunther hit a powerbomb after escaping a Razor's Edge. Priest hit his Frankensteiner from the top rope, and he hit his Razor's Edge. I think it was from the top rope. No, it wasn't from the top rope. Priest tried to go for a choke slam. Gunther countered into a Kimura lock. I don't know what it sounded like the crowd was cheering "Let's go Gunther," and that seemed to piss Gunther off. It's like, what are you doing? I laughed and I laughed and I laughed. Gunther goes for a superplex. Priest shoves Gunther off to the mat. The momentum sends Priest flying off to the floor. Balor comes out of nowhere, hits a coup de grace on Priest from the steel steps. Gunther kicks Finn in the face, tosses Priest in the ring, hits a powerbomb, does a nasty chokehold, and then Priest passes out because he still has to be hard. And yeah, same fucking feud, same fucking finish. Gunther had to be ruined for Finn Balor and Priest to face each other again.
Yeah, he's your champion is the afterthought here.
Again.
Yeah.
That was how he won his belt. He was a fucking afterthought. And he's been emasculated for 4 fucking weeks straight, and then he needs a little tiny Finn Balor to help him beat Priest.
This time, I don't even think he needed Balor.
He didn't.
Like, I get the first time, but this time, yeah.
He beat Braun Strowman all by himself. He beat Drew McIntyre and Sheamus all by him fucking self. He does not need Finn Balor's help for shit. Finn Balor can carry his bags.
Well, we told him as much. I didn't need your help. He actually took this away from me.
Such a waste. You had gold. Like it's like somebody watching somebody with like the Powerball fucking lottery ticket or whatever. You know, you go to the gas station and you see the neon numbers. Somebody wins that and they just go, they crumple it up and throw it away. I don't need it. I'm gonna wipe my ass with it.
Like those people who they get the lotto and then never claim it.
Yeah.
It's like, you could have the winning ticket. You probably should check.
I've just
And then they never do.
lost so much respect for creative. Everybody says how hot at WWE is, and all they do is the same shit. It's vanilla, decent at best, sucks at worst, sucks most of the time. You got No Talent Dupree saying fucking Otis, and she's not even French anymore.
Was she ever?
I thought she was French with the models.
I think she just was a model.
Oh, I thought she was French. My bad. That's even worse. God damn. They're more interested in creating these fucking stupid, useless belts than stars.
Dealing with Mr. Gunther.
Just pisses me off. At least we have Jacob Fatu. They haven't ruined him yet. There's my little sliver of hope. He's got a little bit of plot armor, so hopefully that protects him for a while. Speaking of which, we have the men's war games. And they did Monday Night Football introductions, and they all made up fake schools. Like Bronson Reed said Tsunami State. Tsunami State! Except for Tangaloa. He said he was from University of Texas, El Paso.
UTEP. Yeah, he didn't get the memo.
No, he sure didn't. Or maybe he did, and that's how interesting he is.
And then he had Jacob Fatu. He was just like, I love you so much.
Man, his SmackDown match was great with Jay.
Mm-hmm.
When he just leveled Jay and he's like, yeah, I do this. I do this. I love me a good badass that just speaks gibberish. So yeah, it was weird that all the good guys need their own special little entrance while the bad guys actually came out like a unit. Tonga and Jey Uso started, and then Jacob Fatu came out to beat the fuck out of the Usos. He did a springboard moonsault on one while sandwiching the other against the cage, which is great. Roman blocked Punk from entering the cage so Sammy could have his turn, and then later Punk shoved Reigns out of the way so he could take his turn. They stared daggers at each other. Do you think, like, maybe Roman wouldn't have such a hard time if he wasn't such a little bitch?
If everybody fell in line, he wouldn't have such a hard time.
Everybody has to fall in line?
Yes.
He's not champion anymore. He's the bad guy trying to make up for everybody.
Still, fall in line. Also, just to note, that little moment, that moment where Reigns blocked Punk.
Yeah.
That went super viral for, well, not even for WWE. It just went viral.
Really?
They got, I think it was like 200 something million views in 24 hours on that.
People want to see Punk and Roman, sounds like.
Yeah, that tells them that there's money there. I'm sure they already knew that, but
right,
pretty much solidified. Well, there's their money match.
I'd say just about anybody with Punk is money.
Yeah. And it was their most viewed clip this year.
Really?
Yeah, and I think I would guess it's probably. I don't. There's no need to do this, but probably more views than AEW got all year.
Well, they fired him.
Yeah.
So it looked like Fatu hit about 3 or 4 different moonsault variations. He was just moonsaulting all over the place. And Punk Bulldog Jacob Fatu on a toolbox. And then he no-sold it. And he beat Punk's ass. Solo got in. He directed traffic. He locked Roman out of the cage, which I thought that was genius. And then Roman climbed the cage, which I didn't think of that. Like, I would have been like, oh, man, I guess you guys are going to be on your own. I don't know what I can do. And then they made it seem like it was an incredible feat, even though we saw Io and Tiffany Stratton do it in the first match.
Yeah.
So Roman helps everyone up but Punk at one point, and then Punk stands up and they start arguing. Heyman comes out to tell them to both grow the fuck up. Punk goes to GTS Fatu. Roman tried to hit Solo with a spear at the same time. He missed and hit Punk. And Solo came in from behind and hit him with a spike. And then Fatu fucks his knee up, going for a moonsault intended for Punk. I thought that was legit. I was scared.
Yeah, just him being good at his job.
Punk saved Roman, who was about to get tsunamied by Reed from the very top of the cage. And then Roman tried to help CM Punk up. And that was a big moment because they were arguing throughout the whole match. And then Roman finally accepted Punk into the team. Also, Reed fucked his ankle up for real. So the best tag team in the universe is not going to happen right now.
Yeah, the latest is now. This is from Meltzer, so
Jesus.
But apparently he needs surgery on his foot or his ankle, and he's gonna be out like 6 to 9 months.
Which means tomorrow I'll say, oh, he's actually not hurt.
No, he's definitely hurt. Did you see they had this?
Yeah,
I don't know, someone did a clip.
Oh yeah,
and they slowed it down and zoomed in so you can see it happen. And yeah, definitely broke. He definitely hurt his ankle.
Which is lucky that he still has an ankle.
I know. Who's that much mass coming down on your ankle? Mm-hmm. His foot should have flew off in the third round.
Should have been like that thing that Bischoff put on his foot.
Yeah.
So Solo hit another spike on Roman. Uso saved him. And then Fatu gets Uso splashed through a table by Jimmy. Jimmy climbed the top of the cage to do it. And he hurt himself. He fucking broke his toe. So at the very end, Solo's the only bad guy left standing. The original Bloodline and Punk surround him. Solo knows he's fucked, but he says, I'm still the tribal chief. He proceeds to eat everyone's finish, with Roman winning with a spear 1, 2, 3. And Punk and Heyman, they hug, and then Punk reminds him of the favor, which, how do we know it's not just a blowjob?
I don't think Punk would need one from Heyman.
You never know. He might be really good at it.
But he has AJ Lee. That being Punk.
Yeah, but AJ's not on the road with him all the time.
I think you should wait.
Fair enough. And the good guys, they walk away. And there's really ho-hum for me. Nothing happened. The good guys just won. More importantly, Solo's bloodline lost again. So where do we go from here? You can't tell me that the bloodline, the new bloodline, is a threat now because they lose every fucking match that they're in. Is Roman... What is Roman going to do?
Well, Well, I guess the last thing for him to do is get that Ulafala back.
Does he even care about that anymore? I haven't seen him try to even... He hasn't even addressed it. It's almost like Glacier's helmet.
No, he still talks about it.
I haven't heard him talk about it. And there's 2 pay-per-views in a row. He's had a Solo beat, and he never once tried to get it.
Yeah, he hasn't really reached for it since in a couple weeks. There was that one time where he picked it up, and then, yeah, he got attacked for it. But I'm thinking back. I don't even remember if it was there.
No, I think it was either the Cody, the blood, oh shit, Bad Blood, or it was on a SmackDown. But he actually put it on, but he got attacked from behind.
Yeah.
And he hasn't looked at it. He hasn't talked about it. When they asked him what the plan is, he didn't say, I don't know, but I'm getting my necklace back. Nothing.
Yeah, the one goal for tonight, guys. I'm sure they're going to... I don't know. He will get it back, obviously, but I don't know when they're going to do it.
We'll see.
It's leading to a one-on-one match. That's the final. Now, the question is, where does the bloodline go after that? The new bloodline.
I don't know. They just better be glad they have Jacob Fatu. But yeah, that was Survivor Series.
Yep. I don't know my overall thoughts.
I mean,
I guess it was okay.
It was... Nothing happened. I don't think any storyline really got... Maybe the LA Knight and Shinsuke Nakamura storyline. I mean, if you care, Priest and Balor are going to face each other again. Braun Breaker won. The new bloodline won again. Yeah, there's no turns, no surprises, no debuts, no returns.
Yep.
Could have done without it, actually.
It was just there.
Yeah. But moving on to Monday Night Raw. We were in Everett, Washington. Of course, they recap Survivor Series. We're not going to go over that because we just did. Our walkers are Kofi, Kingston, and Xavier Woods. They arrived separately and they were pouting. And then CM Punk, who ran into Jay and Sammy. And Sammy and Punk shook hands, and our nipples are supposed to get hard now because they're friends. So CM Punk goes to the ring, and they play up the favor that Heyman owes him. And he says, last time he was in Everett, he was fresh off the Hell in a Cell. He wasn't sure where he was going to go from there. Well, here he is, fresh off of War Games, and he knows exactly where he's going. He put his personal issues aside by handling business with McIntyre, then doing a favor for Heyman. Punk says he knows what the future holds, stands on the turnbuckles, points to an imaginary WrestleMania sign. He's like, can you see it? I can see it. He says there's multiple roads to finish his story. Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber. Either way, he has a favor to call to get exactly where he needs to go. So, of course, Seth Rollins comes out. Rollins says he should have knocked Punk out the second he came back to WWE, and he loses sleep over it to this very day. He mentioned how every time he seemed like they were going to finally lock up, something happened. Punk got hurt. Rollins had titles to defend. He says now they're there and nothing's in their way. So tonight is the night I knock CM Punk on his ass. Punk just kind of looks at him. He goes, "You weren't listening. I'm done with all that personal shit, and I already have a goal. And last time we saw each other, you had a title, something I wanted, and you don't have that. So I know where I'm going, and you ain't it, kid." So Rollins gets mad, shoves Punk on his ass. They tussle. Officials, along with Jey Uso and Sami Zayn, come out to pull them apart. As they're ushering Punk to the entrance ramp, Rollins tells Jey to run back to Roman. Well, this pisses Sami off. "Don't you talk to Jey Uso like that." Rollins gets pissed off at Sami because, they worked at 2 WrestleManias, or they worked for 2 WrestleManias to bring Roman down, and now at Survivor Series, Sami helped Roman to get his power back. And what's worse, he teamed up with CM Punk to do it. Sami says, "Check the replay. I didn't ask to team with Punk. I asked you twice." And Sami ultimately challenges Rollins to a match, and it sounds like Rollins went a little bit heel.
Yeah, I guess he has to go heel for this feud.
Punk could be the heel.
He could be. But it was a good open. Everything that happened. Now, Vince Russo said it was a little gay of Sami Zayn
to stick up for Jey.
Yeah,
he's 100% correct.
I mean, he said that. I wouldn't say a thing like that.
No, that's why are you sticking up for another man? Can't he speak for himself? And what's main event Jey Uso letting, Sami Zayn, the honorary Uso, speak for him and pick a fight for him ultimately? He fought Seth Rollins for Jey Uso. Yeah, what the fuck?
And yeah, that's why Vince Russo said,
well, Vince is on the mark right there.
But I like how they weaved, like they went deep into the story. They went back to the Rollins and Punk thing, and then Sami, he was like, "Hey, I asked you, and you said no twice." So they tied up that end of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like intertwining everything. And I did think it was kind of crazy that, yeah, you could say this is like one big story that's played out over 2-3 years. And now everything is like coming together. I don't know.
Yeah, you can say that.
And then we even called back to the night Rollins turned on Roman Reigns.
Yeah, they said you created Roman when you hit him in the back. You're just as responsible as I am. I don't know. I just know that I don't want to see Sami Zayn.
Well, he's going to be in it.
Yeah, he sure is, unfortunately. So Judgment Day are backstage. They show a video of Balor and Carlito beating Priest ass backstage at Survivor Series. And then Balor says they took care of Priest like Dom couldn't. And if everyone listens to Finn, Judgment Day will win. And then Useless Liv Morgan asked Dom to keep an eye on him. It's riveting shit right there.
I did have something irks me about the way she asked him that too. Would you go watch after Dom or after Finn, please? It was like so nice. It's like your heels.
Mm-hmm.
But it does seem like Finn is, which is crazy because they just made this new group, but it already seems like Finn may be getting too big for his britches and he's going to be on his way out.
Well, didn't he just say to Priest that he's not the leader? That's why they kicked him out.
Yeah, there's no leaders in Judgment Day.
And listen to Finn and we'll win.
Yeah, see? He's getting too big for his britches. So he's going to get kicked out. And I don't know, maybe the whole Judgment Day thing goes away at all, as a whole.
I'm fine with that.
Dom seems to be getting his push.
Wonder if it'll be Dom, Carlito, No Def, and Useless, and then McTurd and Finn.
Probably. Oh, by the way, also in that segment at the end, Carlito was like, group hug? So he's still trying.
All right.
He's going to wear her down eventually.
Well, Damage Control were fed to Useless Morgan and No Def Rodriguez. Ripley came out to help, but she ultimately got her ass kicked.
Yep, they're trying to build up Rodriguez so she can lose to Rhea Ripley next week, so that we can get back to the Liv Morgan Rhea Ripley thing.
Yay! Haven't seen that enough.
Yeah.
Remember, like at the beginning of the year when she first got hurt, and I'm like, they could stretch this out to WrestleMania. You're like, no, they couldn't.
I didn't think they could.
Oh, they could.
And I don't think they should.
No, they shouldn't.
Like, I'm not even advocating for Rhea to get the title back. I think Liv, I don't know. There's a lot of people who think Liv should walk into WrestleMania as champion because of what she's done over this time frame.
What has she done?
I don't know. Just remember where she was before she won the title.
She was an obnoxious.
Well, you call her, useless, so you don't. Do you really count?
The only difference is that now she takes up more TV time. She hasn't had like a great match. I don't think she's carried the title particularly well. She hasn't brought in more prestige. And for all intents and purposes, she's just a placeholder for Ripley.
Well, and
it's a complete travesty and a joke that little tiny useless Liv Morgan would give Rhea Ripley this much trouble, where she'd have to chase her for a whole fucking year.
Well, maybe Rhea should stop getting hurt.
She should, but for useless Liv Morgan to be able to hurt her, it's just stupid.
Fair enough.
So Gunther was interviewed, and then Finn and Dominic interrupted. Finn says Gunther owes him a title shot because that's the second time he's helped Gunther beat Priest. Gunther says he doesn't owe Finn anything. Priest made him look like a pussy for 4 weeks, and Finn made things worse by not letting Gunther win by himself. So then Gunther starts talking shit to Dominic, then offers him a title shot because he actually beat Priest, which Balor couldn't do. So we're going to get Balor and Gunther at some point.
Yeah. Well, we already got it. But...
Oh, yeah, I know.
Okay.
So Dakota Kai beat Shayna Baszler and some other bitch. It was for the IC title tournament. So, of course, these retards are basically doing the same exact tournament. Nothing special. Which is why I can't tell the two apart now. It's the same exact shit.
Yeah. No creativity there, but it makes sense that they keep it the same. First of all, I think they kind of like why was it in such a hurry to get this title out? They could have let the U.S. title
breathe a little bit.
Yes, and then you get an Intercontinental title.
Like,
But they do it like right in the middle of that.
I honestly don't know how, aside from the women in wrestling that want to carry the prop around so they can, feel better about themselves. Like, I haven't heard anybody go, "Oh, we need a women's champion or secondary title."
Good for you. Unfortunately, it's been a talk for a long time.
Okay,
on the interwebs.
fair enough. I would think that you would want your main titles to actually mean something before you start introducing secondary titles. That's just me, though, because the women's neither of the women's championships mean anything.
Well,
we just saw Nia Jax get her ass whooped by Naomi and Bayley for however long she was alone when they were with them. Both of the champions lost in one match.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah.
I mean, their thought process is,
Stupid.
You give the undercard something to go after. I mean, like Dakota Kai shouldn't be challenging for the world title.
Well,
or Shayna Baszler or Natalya.
You don't think Shayna Baszler should be going for a world title?
No, not right now. She's a loser.
Okay. I think she is instantly more credible than Useless Liv Morgan and No Definition Rodriguez.
Well, yeah, she's more credible looking, but she can't win a match, and she puts people to sleep when she's when she's out there.
Well, that's when she's talking.
Yeah, which is a shame because she was booked to perfection in NXT. And then she gets called up to the main roster, and she just never got her footing. She bit Becky Lynch like a vampire. Like, she debuts and she literally bites Becky Lynch, and apparently Paul Heyman booked the segment or something. She bites Becky Lynch, and she's got like blood coming down her face because she's a vampire.
Well, now I feel a little silly because I said now we know how serious to take this new title because they went with Dakota Kai over Shayna Baszler.
Well, I think I called her. I think that was evident from her doing the little promo last week. And also, the Intercontinental title bracket, it's different from the SmackDown bracket. Like, I don't know, name-wise, these are all like legit mid-card names. So let's see.
Zoe Stark is the only hope the title has in terms of legitimacy. The rest of them are jokes.
Well, let me see. So we got Zoe Stark, Raquel Rodriguez, Kaden Carter, Lyra Valkyria, Zelina Vega, Ivy Nile, Alba Fire, Kairi Sane, Natalya. Boy.
There's no thought put into this at all, Tyson.
Well, I'm just saying, you can tell that unfortunately, the Intercontinental side of this is a lot weaker.
And it's bullshit because if you are a wrestling fan that has grown up with the Intercontinental title, that's been the workhorse title. So for them to introduce this workhorse title for the women, and you got Zelina Vega and Dakota Kai in there competing for it. It's just...
Well, that's why I have like 3 options to actually win here. Dakota Kai being one, Lyra Valkyria being the other, and then the dark horse, because it is a workhorse title, would make sense that Natalya wins it. Now, Natalya man, put me to sleep if you want to. If she's gonna like be on TV every week as a champion, but the workhorse part of it, she fits that build.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't matter. I'm not gonna watch it. Especially if Zoe Stark doesn't. I mean, if she doesn't win the title, then it doesn't mean anything. You're gonna you're gonna have the ugly NXT chick have the title. Okay, great.
Who? Ivy Nile?
No, that's Cueto.
Lyra Valkyria. Yeah, it's probably gonna be her. Her or
No Def Rodriguez.
No, I don't think she's. I think Rhea Ripley's going to cost her next week.
We'll see. Well, up next we have the New Day 10-year celebration because we've spent way too much fucking time on this stupid title. Adam Pearce calls out Kofi and Woods. And the ring and the entrance ramp are basically dressed up like a New Day museum. It's actually pretty cool, except for the fucking bootios. Pearce gets a New Day Rocks chant going. And Woods looks around and he says, being a part of this is more than they could ever dream. And he thanks the fans. Kofi says it's been a blast and they couldn't have done it without each other and without the WWE universe. Then Woods says he wants everybody to know that what they're about to say is not their fault. Kofi says he and Woods talked with how things have been, especially last week, and they decided. Big E interrupts. E comes out, says he wishes that he was out there under better circumstances, but to see Woods and Kofi tear each other apart just hurts his soul. He said when they started this all they had were each other. Kofi, you were a joke on the verge of retirement. Woods and I were about to get fired. He says Woods and Kofi were at the hospital during one of the scariest days of his life. I held Kofi's kids. Woods, you cried on my shoulder. He said they built something that means something special. So until I'm medically cleared, I'm going to remind both of you who we are. He says he's going to be there to cheer and uplift both of them. He's going to be there each and every week to serve as their manager. And crowd cheers for New Day. E gets all hyped. Woods and Kofi kind of look like they're about to cry. Finally, Woods says, Now you want to come back? When just last week we were at each other's throats, pushing each other so far off the edge of a cliff, there was nothing left to do but jump. You left us, Big E. E says, motherfucker, I broke my neck. Kofi says, you left us, E. So what, you broke your neck? Austin broke his neck once and he won a fucking title. Kurt Angle broke his neck and he won a motherfucking medal. Edge came back and he helped Roman get to 1,000 days. Wood says that they didn't have two guys waiting for them. They didn't have anything, or they didn't have something familiar to walk back to like E did, and E squandered it. Wood says that they didn't evolve to their detriment because of Big E. Because they were waiting for him to come back, and he never did. Kofi says, as big and strong as you are, and not having gone through a major surgery like that before, you couldn't have just been back a long time ago, man, but you were just so lazy. And Big E says, bitch, I broke my motherfucking neck. Woods tells E, I've heard that already, that you cut it with the sob story. One time I tore my Achilles tendon right off the bone, and I was back 9 months after surgery for you, Big E. Kofi says if Big E cared about them, he'd have been back a long time ago, cheering them on, galvanizing what's left of the New Day. Instead, he focused on his new projects and pussy. Big E chose a desk over the New Day. Woods calls Big E a burden. Fans tell them all the time that they miss Big E, like they don't miss Big E. But E doesn't miss us. Kofi says since day one, it's been brotherhood before anything else. But Big E chose himself, broken neck or not. Wood says, in fact, Let's tell these people the truth, E. You'll never be medically cleared. And since that's the case, get the hell out of this ring and go back to your desk where you belong. We'll call you if we need anything. Big E says, no, it's been a decade, man. We're not just going to throw this away. Come on, man. He goes in for a hug. Kofi stops him short. Big E asks if it's done or over like 100 times. Like, it's done? It's over? It's done? It's done. It's done? Then he goes to leave. And then Woods and Kofi stare at each other and say, it's just you and me from now on. Then they do an alliance handshake.
And it was magical. All of it. Cinema. It was the telenovela. And they were right with it, you know, like, yeah, you waited until now to come back after all this. Now, the one thing that stuck out to me was when they said, when Wood said, you're never going to be cleared. I was like, oh, okay. So is he already cleared, or is he like close to being cleared? Because clear, they're speaking of cleared, it's clear that they're doing a Big E story here, like a redemption story, or he's never going to be cleared, and that's their way of like officially writing him off as a character in the ring or something.
Or he might not be medically clear, but Uba Femi is.
And he's going to come and help.
Yeah, and he's here to whoop y'all's asses.
Well, he actually just won the NXT pay-per-view was tonight, and he just won the Iron Survivor thing.
What's that?
So he's going to be getting a title match on NXT soon.
Oh.
But that would have been a good option.
No, they can still do it.
Like, I was thinking that too, like, maybe Big E brings in a tag team to take on the New Day, but that's kind of like, that would make, I don't know, that's kind of a heel thing to do, to bring in someone to back you up. Like, I'm not medically cleared, I can't do anything, but they can. And then you got some new big badass tag teams, like, oh.
I don't know. I don't think that's a heel thing.
Yeah, it's a heel thing. I think it's a heel thing.
I think if you were healthy and you were already feuding with these two, and then you brought in more people to make it 3-on-2, that's a heel thing. But if you're not in the fight and you can't be in the fight, but you still want to contribute to the fight, all right, well, I called some help. That's Chuck Norris.
Yeah, I guess it could be a direction. But it's interesting to see where they go.
I can't stop you, but I know somebody who can. Uba Femi.
And then, like, where's his tag team partner? Oh, he doesn't need one. He is the tag team.
Yeah, it was good. I started getting mad at Big E though, because he kept saying, "Come on, man, come on!" Like I went from feeling really bad for him to just getting angry. Like, come on, look at yourself. Have some dignity.
Fuck dignity.
God damn.
But yeah, I don't know. You gotta fight for it if you want it.
Yeah, I guess, but at some point you just gotta, I don't know, realize that you're in front of people. So Karrion Kross had a promo. He's made a Bray Dallas he's mad at Bray Dallas for sending Nikki Cross to kick Scarlett's ass last week. And Karrion Kross says Bray Dallas started this fire. Now he's going to make sure it burns. I think Bray Dallas did a thing in response.
He did. And I just want to say, I was thinking about it. I was like, this is actually kind of a interesting thing they're going through here. I'm glad I didn't give up on Cross.
What's interesting about it?
I don't know. It's interesting. I'm interested.
Okay. But you can't tell me what's interesting.
I can't put my finger on one specific part of it. Just the whole thing in total.
But you can't. Okay. Well, after that, Gunther took too fucking long to beat Dominic. Balor kicked Gunther's ass after the match because why not? And yeah, they're facing at Saturday night's main event. So Priest can cause Balor the title and further devalue the World Heavyweight Champion.
Pretty much. And then likely leading to a triple threat match.
Oh, God. Well, someone attacked Jey Uso. Later, Sammy confronted Adam Pearce, asked who it was. Pearce said he didn't know. And Sammy suspected Seth Rollins. So he's gonna kick his ass in the middle of the ring.
This is such an original concept of someone getting attacked. Basically a whodunit storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Nowhere else do we see that storyline happening at this very moment.
We didn't see that like 2 weeks ago on a Friday.
Well, I'm saying, they're not telling that story, the exact story on SmackDown right now. So this is very, very original.
Lazy. And just think, they have a whole entire team of people that come up with this shit. There's a team of people. There's not just one person. It's not just some old man and like two other old men sitting by a pool. Okay, we're going to have this. Fuck it, we'll do another triple threat match. No, it's an entire fucking room of people. And I think, if I remember correctly, they have a writing team for SmackDown and a writing team for Raw. So they're separated.
Probably.
And this is what they come up with.
They probably saw, everybody get interested in the Jade Cargill thing. It's like, oh, they like the whodunit storyline. Let's do another one.
Yeah,
because we don't know what else to do. Let's do this exact. Actually, they tried to do it a third time on SmackDown.
Did they?
Yeah, that someone attacked the
Street Solo Cups. Yeah.
So yeah, it's also turning into quite the dangerous place backstage. Everybody's getting attacked.
That's true. Just fuck it. I'm waiting for this Triple H era to kick off.
Oh, we're in full Triple H effect.
Well, it sucks. R-Truth beat the lesbian Pete Dunne. Do you have anything to say?
No.
Okay, less said with that, the better. And we got a Braun Breaker interview. Sheamus suffered a cracked rib, and that is what we learned from that. And then Kaiser came in to talk shit, says his real goal was to break Sheamus's ribs, and he accomplished that. So now he can focus on the Intercontinental title. Breaker says he's gonna go talk to Pierce. Then he tells Kaiser to ditch Gunther because he's a bitch. So we have other wrestlers calling the World Heavyweight Champion a bitch now.
Yeah.
God, I hate Triple H. So Rollins beat Zayn, of course. Zayn stopped all of a sudden at the middle of the match, grabbed a chair, blamed Rollins for what happened to Jey Uso because he's fighting for his boyfriend. And then Rollins said it wasn't him. Sammy threw the chair out of the ring. Rollins won with a small package. And then Drew McIntyre claymored Sami Zayn for some reason. And I guess we know who took Jey out. Now, the real question is he going to side with Rollins, or are they going to have like a little makeshift team? Because they like to do that, the little team of wronged people.
Yeah, I don't know where they're going with it. But if they have weaved this... See, the problem is, if you weave this story together, Punk is in the storyline. And we just had a blow-off between him and Drew McIntyre. So, how are we going to skate around that?
Well, McIntyre's back to, I don't know, lend moral support to Rollins in the ass kicking of Punk. I don't know. I've been in the cage with him. I can tell you how to beat him. That type of shit.
I guess. But on that note, it is good for him to be back.
Yeah.
We're getting all the forces back, except for the ones where we just lost to War Games.
But has he got a feud with Sami Zayn?
I guess so. Well, I thought we already did that.
We did. My God, we did.
Okay.
That's fucking
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where we're going with it.
They don't either.
I need to see next week.
Well, I don't know. Watch SmackDown a year ago. Well, that was Raw. Let's move on to SmackDown. We're in Minneapolis, Minnesota. They recapped War Games again. At least we got the T-Pain song. So yeah, Bronson Reed's out. Tonga Loa is out. And I don't know how the company is going to survive without Tonga Loa. But we're just going to have to pull together and march on.
Yeah. We'll get through this.
Yeah, and then Jimmy broke his fucking toe. So maybe these motherfuckers shouldn't be jumping off the top of the cage.
Maybe, but...
I also think it was interesting that none of the women got hurt. And they were jumping off the top of the cage.
Yeah, it is interesting.
So our walkers are the Solo Cups, the Motor City Machine Guns, and Apollo Crews. Let me just read it for verbatim. Apollo Crews, what the fuck is he doing here? Oh, they're Solo. He's about to get it. So they're at a metal detector. Solo brushes past Crews. Crews starts to say something. Jacob Fatu neutralizes Crews with a super kick in the fucking face. And I loved his little Then Fatu and Tama Tonga beat up security, all for no reason. And it was great.
Because they're on a warpath.
I'm just like, what the fuck is Apollo Crews? And I saw Solo. Okay.
There it goes.
So Cody Rhodes, he puts over Saturday night's main event. He mentions Kevin Owens. And then Chad Gable's stupid team from Monday Night Raw interrupts. Apparently there's a transfer window that's been arbitrarily made. And Gable's stupid team are having a SmackDown tryout or something. Now, if this were real, why in the fuck would Aldis be even remotely interested in this fucking team?
I don't know. Gives them a new...
They're losers. No, it doesn't give them new shit. They're fucking losers. They haven't won shit since they've been a team. They have to cheat to beat Rey Mysterio. Why would Nick Aldis even entertain this?
Well, I put so because I knew where this was going to Cody and Chad Gable match,
which we've
and I
seen
put,
already.
Well, we have the champion versus someone who never wins. And gee, I wonder what's going to happen.
So Gable says he's from Minnesota and the people are stupid and they'll believe anything you say. So let me speak some truth. He tells Cody that when he came back, he aspired to be just like him. But it's easy to look the part and carry yourself like a champion. But what isn't easy is being a good friend, a loyal friend, like Kevin Owens. Gable compares his situation with Otis to Cody and Owens, then concludes that Cody is a terrible friend. Gable says that's not all. You are the definition of superficial. All Cody Rhodes cares about is what everyone else thinks, no matter how many friends have to fall by the wayside. And Gable says, you teamed with the one guy to make Kevin Owens' life hell. I would never do that. So whatever you have coming to you is deserved. Cody says, yeah, I'm a terrible friend. Then proves Gable right by asking the crowd to be his friend. Because, he said, all you care about is what the people think. Cody says he's surprised that all this is coming from Gable since they're so much alike. He mentions their terrible gimmicks that they've had to overcome. He tells Gable he's here because he thinks he doesn't have anything to lose. But what happens if Gable fails again? And Cody insinuates that Gable's going to destroy the Goobers in Team Gable while he falls. Also Cueto from Total Recall. And Gable says, you're lucky I'm wearing this suit or I'd whip your ass right here. And Cody gets pissed, demands a match. Says he's going to pretend it's Kevin Owens while he beats Gable's ass. Yay.
Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing Chad Gable lose on another show.
Yeah, someone who never wins versus the champion.
Champion, yes. So we have the double Bs. Naomi's getting ready for a match, and then Belair is bitching about sore ribs from War Games. And then Piggy Niven and the other one come in after Naomi leaves, and they talk shit to Belair. Belair accuses Piggy of hurting Jade since she wasn't at ringside during their triple threat match. And then Piggy implies her and the other one will kick Belair's ass. Belair attacks them, and they kind of kick Belair's ass.
Yeah.
And Stratton won a triple threat match. Too many goddamn moonsaults.
Well, that's her finisher.
Naomi did a moonsault. Stratton did a moonsault. You got Jacob Fatu. First of all, the moonsault should be just his. Whatever happened, I miss the days where, only one person did a super kick instead of, everybody.
Well, now it's like a
setup move.
It's like a headlock now.
Yeah. So the Solo Cups were attacked in the back. Aldis came in. He told the Machine Guns that their match is off. Gargano slides in. He says, well, we're here. Put DIY in. We'll take the title match. Aldis agreed. He tells Gargano to tell Ciampa not to make him regret this. And later, Ciampa tells Gargano, this doesn't fix anything because this is a title match that we should have had months ago. Then he wants an answer to some question he asked or something, which I don't remember.
I would assume it was about is that how you want to be portrayed to your kids? A loser? I guess that's what it was about.
Okay. Belair beat Piggy Niven with a KOD. Either have hurt fucking ribs or don't. She She's lifting Piggy. She's doing moonsault. She's doing rib-related offense. And just because you pop up and pretend that your ribs hurt, like that's not selling the injury. That makes you look fucking stupid. It's obviously phony. Like if her ribs were really hurt, she couldn't she couldn't springboard and shit. She couldn't flip.
That's fair. I never put too much stock into it, to be honest with you.
Well, she did it every time. Like every fucking move she did, she'd like pop up and pretend her ribs hurt. Like if her ribs were hurting that bad, she wouldn't be able to do those fucking moves. So if you're hurt, change your offense to make it look like you're fucking hurt. You can still win.
That's fair.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, later Byron confirmed that Piggy didn't attack Jade, and then Belair and Naomi.
After the match.
Huh?
After the match. He waited until after the match to tell her that.
Later, and then Belair and Naomi, they beat out for a bit. I didn't understand a goddamn word they said, and then they said it was on site for whoever it was. Naomi said something about on their necks. Like, they got my neck. I don't know what the fuck that means.
It just means whoever did it is in some trouble.
Okay.
The only problem is, the person who did it was probably in the room with them, because it was Naomi. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. Now it almost doesn't make sense that it was Naomi.
Which means it probably was Naomi.
Yeah. But well, we'll get to it. No, we already did. Did we talk about the triple threat? Yes, we did.
Yeah. Too many moonsaults.
So yeah, she lost. She lost the match. Naomi did. So now it doesn't make sense that she attacked Jade Cargill, because, my theory was that she was easing her path to the championship. And then, at the main event Saturday night, that's when the heel turn is complete. Now she's out. So, or maybe that's still part of the story. It's like that was the plan, and then the plan failed.
Maybe it's B-Fab.
It still could be. She does a lot of talking on Instagram or TikTok or Twitter.
Okay.
It's actually Twitter, but I don't watch her videos. I just see that she does a lot of talking on there.
Shinsuke Nakamura. He does a zombie samurai entrance, and then LA Knight interrupted immediately. Knight says that Nakamura is a sorry excuse for a champion because he won with a cheap shot. And Knight says he's the real deal. He says, you have my title, so I want my rematch right now. Nakamura doesn't say anything. Knight says that figures. The only time you've ever done anything to me face to face is hit me with that mist. So Knight puts on sunglasses and calls them mist blockers. He says he's coming to whoop Nakamura's ass. And then El Idolo interrupts. Idolo says he has unfinished business. Knight says no disrespect, but I got first dibs. You can have a shot after. You can have a shot after. What the hell? So Tama Tonga and attacks El Idolo for some reason. And then Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu proceed to beat the piss out of Idolo and Knight. Solo eventually makes an appearance. They all stop and turn to Nakamura. Nakamura grabs his throat and starts oozing black slime from his mouth. Fatu's all about that life, but Solo stops him, saving Nakamura's life. And then Nakamura just...
Speaking of which, Fatu, I just remembered something. Going all the way back to War Games. So, did you notice when Punk came out and he was looking at the shark cage and he pie-faced Bronson Reed?
I remember Punk approaching the cage. I don't remember the pie face.
Yeah, he pie-faced Bronson Reed while he was in the shark cage.
Okay.
And apparently it was ad-lib. So that wasn't a planned thing. And, and Reed's reaching out to try to get him. But why I'm going back to that is because if you see Jacob Fatu, he's like literally trying to squeeze through the cage. Like he's got his head and he's like trying to squeeze his body through the cage. Like he does the most.
He does. That's why he's so great. So yeah, Nagamura is the kid that eats worms now. And then Solo and company go back to beating the shit out of Knight and the other guy. They each got a spike, which, remember when the spike was supposed to be like this dangerous move? Everybody just seems to be getting it willy-nilly.
John Cena was with the laryngitis or whatever.
Yeah. So Solo says, just because we lost again and we're 2 men down, that doesn't mean we ain't the ones. So if anybody says differently, step up and this will happen. He points to the fallen knight and the other one. We will lay your ass out every single time. And Solo says he's tired of everyone thinking that he's a joke and he's still our tribal chief. And he says he still has the special Samoan necklace that Roman doesn't seem to very, very eager to get back anymore. And yeah, he asks the crowd to acknowledge him. And of course they didn't.
Yeah. We'll have to see what's next for them.
So we have a Kevin Owens car promo. Owen says, you know the rush you get when you're called up to Minneapolis for a Michael Cole interview? It sucks. I don't ever want to be in Minneapolis, especially to talk to Michael Cole. Owen says if Cole wants to interview him so bad, he's not going to do it in the arena, especially after showing up so many times and getting turned away. If Cole wants to interview him, he has to do it in his car. So, of course, Cole bitches throughout the rest of the night for that. And then we have Motor City Machine. Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, he was very concerned about the weather.
Yes.
So I wouldn't put it past him. It's 40 degrees here. It's like, I don't want to go outside for nothing.
Yeah, but he's going to be in a car. There's heat.
I had to take the trash out. I was like, please, don't even go out there.
The worst is when you have to wake up early.
Oh, and it's like super cold.
Mm-hmm. Like if you wake up before the sun's up, it's a different universe. And
I was also thinking, like, man, there's like psychos who run in this.
Oh,
because they wake up early and it's like freezing cold and they're running
with just shorts on.
Yeah, with psychos
with little Goldberg nut holster shorts and a winter hat. Yeah, and that's it.
Well, sometimes they got a hoodie on, at least.
No.
Hoodie and shorts.
Not around here. We got dick holsters galore. I'm envious, and not of the dick holster part, but whenever I see somebody run, I'm like, man, I wish I could do that. I should be doing that. Then I go stop at McDonald's and
I need a double Whopper, double quarter pounder, or what's it?
Get about 4 Big Macs and a large fry.
The chicken Big Mac.
Oh, yeah. That was kind of disappointing, actually.
I didn't really taste. I don't know. It didn't really taste anything.
Yeah. So anyway, Motor City Machine Guns versus DIY. Ciampa basically turned it into a handicap match between himself and the Guns because he wanted to fight and Gargano wanted to wrestle. Ciampa inadvertently kicked Gargano, then called him stupid. for it, which was funny. I always appreciate the guy that kicks the other guy insulting the guy that got kicked.
Yeah, it's their fault.
So at one point, Ciampa tagged in Gargano while one of the guns were on the floor. And then Gargano tossed him back in the ring, and this pisses Ciampa off. So he gets in Gargano's face. Gargano shoves Ciampa on his ass. Ciampa proceeds to throw a temper tantrum. He gets on the floor, starts yelling at Michael Cole that they're through. We're done. This is it. And they're saying, oh, we've seen the implosion of DIY. It's the darkest day ever. And then Ciampa grabs a chair, starts to bring it into the ring. Ref intercepts Ciampa. Meanwhile, Gargano is he's not looking good. But eventually he hits one of the guns in the dick and then super kicks the other one where he's like, what the fuck are you doing? Meanwhile, Ciampa goes back to the corner with a grin, holds out his hand. Gargano tags him in. They go, yeah, we got him. Yeah. They meet in the middle. 1, 2, 3. And they 100% got me. But I did have a thought that maybe Gargano attacked the Solo Cups without Ciampa knowing to set up a heel turn that way.
Yeah. He got to jump on both of them. I can see that. But, yeah, just as I expected that I said DIY, they're going to turn. I don't think they're going to split. They're going to turn. And that's what happened. Now, some people online, they were upset that
the guns lost so soon.
I think their ring was, hold on, looking. It was like 43 days or something like that.
What would you expect?
I don't know. They thought they were going to be on a long reign. I mean, people were like, oh, see, that's why they should have went to AEW. They wouldn't have been treated this way.
Oh, yeah. They've... Okay.
But, yeah. It will help them, maybe. Now, of course, it has to do with the follow-through. But it will help them develop an actual character. Because right now, their characters are nothing. They don't have a character. And, again, one guy sounds like he should be managing a Kinko's. So maybe this like has some edge to him or something. It does seem like we're going into a triple threat match. But we could also not, because this is like the whole tag division. So just have it all tied in together.
Which, again, makes no sense.
But maybe the portal brings in more tag teams.
Oh, the portal.
The Creeds. Because, Alpha Academy apparently is moving over to SmackDown.
Well, then who's going to face the Judgment Day for their titles?
They don't really have anybody.
Nope. Viking Raiders. That's it. Maybe
call up people from NXT. I don't know who. I don't watch NXT, but
what a mess. And they want to introduce women's secondary titles.
There are a lot of titles.
So we get Kevin Owens' car interview, the long-awaited car interview. So Cole walks out. He's like, come on, let's go inside. And Owens is like, come on, get in the car. And Cole's like, I'm not getting in there. Owens says, come on, you're freezing. I have it at a nice cozy 68 in here. And Cole says, how come we're not in the nice cozy room? Owens says, well, ever since he dropped the golden boy, Cody Rhodes, at Bad Blood, he's been uninvited, so deal with it. Cole's still bitching. Says he was prepared to do an unbiased interview. Owens laughs, calls Cole the biggest Cody fanboy. Cole says he's known Owens for over a decade and was one of his biggest supporters until recently. Owens says, how do you not see it my way? How many times were you sitting at commentary while Romans tried to end my career? And then Cody shows up at Bad Blood and stands alongside him. And it's not just that. He called me an egomaniac. Which one of us left because he was crying about the opportunities? Which one of us left because he was crying about the opportunities he was getting? I forget, Cole. Was it me or Cody? And then he said Cody came back and it's all about him. His stupid logos everywhere. He gets not 1, not 2, but 3 sets of pyro for his entrance. Which is true. Cole interjects that it's not just Cody Rhodes. The Usos, Sammy, they helped Roman too. And Owen says he doesn't give a shit about the Usos. If they want to go back to being Roman's pawns, good on them. And as far as Sammy goes, trust me, we will cross that bridge when I focus on it. But right now, Cody's the one who betrayed me. Which Sammy and Kevin Owens might do it again. Of course.
WrestleMania, perhaps?
Didn't they just fucking do that?
A couple years ago, I think.
Sure, why not? So Owen says Cole doesn't have any friends, so he doesn't know what it's like to have a friend spit in your face and stab you in the back. Cole says Owens is being petty and advises him to look in the mirror because this is all on him. He's the problem. Owen says, I'm the problem? Get out of my car. Leave my rental vehicle right now. And Cole gets out of the car. Owens looks around for a second. He goes, oh, wait. Hey, Michael. Cole turns around just so Owens can roll the window up on him. What a dick.
Great move.
It was. I remember doing that to a mall cop once.
I used to, roll the window up. Like, that was like the power move. Rolling the window up on someone.
Yeah.
Especially like, I was going to sound mean. Homeless people. Like, you got the window down and they creep up on you and ask for money, and then you just like look them dead in the eye and roll the window up.
Oh, I always look at them and go, hey, what's your name? And whatever. Why don't you get a goddamn job? You reek of shit.
I can't go that far. I tried to. I wasn't fast enough with the recording, but this homeless guy was like literally stripping.
How are you not fast enough with it? How are you not fast enough with it?
I don't know. Like, I was trying to get my phone out to record it, and then he's just like, he's on the ground, he's taking his clothes off, then he just gets up and starts running.
Okay.
I'm like, I guess I was a little frozen because I was so in shock. Like, what the hell is happening right now?
Man, did I tell you about the Mexicans that almost got stolen?
No.
So I'm at this Big Lots, and it's a department store. I don't know. Can't think of what's just say Walmart. I was at a Walmart.
I know. Well, I know what Big Lots is.
Oh, okay.
We have them here.
Good deal. So I'm in checkout. I'm waiting to, pay and shit. And then all of a sudden, I just hear, help! 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 So these two adult Mexicans and this Mexican child, they run to the door, and then they scurry to the corner, like, the little motorized doors.
Yeah.
So they're in the little lobby thing, and they're in the corner like rodents that like have been experimented horribly on. And then this like this white lady comes out. She's all, it was like a fucking M. Night Shyamalan thing, because she's all smiling and shit. Oh no, I was just trying to give them money. And And the girl's like, no, she was trying to steal me. I didn't wait to see what happened, though. Because I got my shit and I left. I was not interested.
It's interesting that it wasn't the other way around.
The Mexicans tried to steal the old lady?
Yeah.
Well.
That's what you would think this story would go?
No,
not that I'm like,
I was driving home like,
anybody.
what would a 90-year-old white woman do with a little Mexican child? Is she gonna raise it as her own?
Make it work.
No, Consuela. You get to make me tea now. My name's Becky. Consuela, don't talk back.
Yeah, pretty much.
Locks her in a dark closet when she misbehaves. With nails sticking out of the walls.
Or the rice on the ground.
Yeah, I'm confused. But I've been there since, and I can report that there hasn't been anybody attempted stealing since. So, they're going out of business in my neck of the woods.
That's sad.
It is sad. I grew up with that store.
Yeah, they've been around for quite a while.
All right, back to wrestling. We have Carmelo Anthony and Nick Aldis backstage, and for some reason, the Raw's World Heavyweight Champion is at SmackDown.
What do you mean? Because brand split.
Oh, okay. So Anthony wants to know what Aldis's plans are for him as the number 1 draft pick. And then he threatens to go to Raw if Aldis doesn't have anything for him. And Aldis says, that's not a threat. That's a gift. And he says he has someone special in mind for Anthony when... he has someone special in mind for Anthony, and then he closes the door in his face. So we're going to have to find out. And I just want to know, how is this supposed to endear us to Carmelo Anthony?
I don't know. I think it was more so to tease that maybe he's going to Raw.
Okay. Well, after that, Cody Rhodes beat Chad Gable. I'm sure it was a great match, but I wasn't interested in seeing Gable lose again. And then Owen showed up after the match. He stomped on the ankle, Cody's ankle that Gable had an ankle lock in. And remember when the ankle lock was a devastating move? Now it beats nobody.
Well, it's because Chad Gable's using it.
And
he can't win matches, so.
Okay. And then Owens and Cody had a big brawl at the end of the show, so I guess Cody's ankles is fine.
He sold it a little bit, but yeah. He recovered quite quickly.
And that was SmackDown.
Some stuff to go off of. That's good.
Yeah, I'm not liking the arbitrary transfer portal that they just now made up.
I'm trying to think of, like, I don't know. I don't even want to, like, get into, like, who's going where, because
it doesn't matter.
Mainly, I don't like being wrong, so.
Fair enough. Well, let's just go ahead and move on then.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on. We are on our way to 500 subscribers. Now, I've been saying that for weeks. We're one person away. One person just needs to hit the button. Can it be you? And then we get to 500.
And then we're just
on our way. Huh?
I'm going to grab a drink.
Okay. And then we're on our way to 1,000. So we're onward and upward. And thank you for all the support that you've given us so far. And where can you find us? Let's go over that. So we are on Facebook. Not Facebook, sorry. We're on X. You can find us there. We're on TikTok. You can find us there. We're on Instagram. You can find us there. TikTok, I don't know. You can find us there. But it looks like TikTok is on its way out of being a platform. By the way, all you TikTokers, you can't come to YouTube. You planted your flag on TikTok. You got to stay there. And now the ship is sinking. Maybe they sell. Maybe they don't. I don't know. Oh, we're also on Blue Sky. You can find us on Blue Sky. We're up to, I think, 5 followers. It was pretty good. We're getting engagement over there. And we're also on Spotify. You can find us there. Anywhere you want to find us, we are there for your enjoyment. And I should tell you that when 2025 comes, we're gonna be more places if we can. We'll figure that out. But thank you. And I think he's back. If he's not, then let's go over why you want to subscribe. Oh, no. Yeah. We also have an affiliate link to the WWE shop. So if you so choose, you want to support the channel, you can do that there. Yes, now you are back. Good.
But why do we want to subscribe?
Oh, you just do. You just do. And we're almost to 500. I would really like to stop saying we're almost to 500. So just one person can hit the button. We'll be past it, and then we don't have to say that anymore.
We hit it once. I took a picture.
We did. We're going to hit it this week, I believe. I'd be surprised if we didn't.
We'll see.
I have to. If we don't hit it this week, I don't know, man. I have to harm myself. So, no pressure.
All right. Was that the shells?
Yeah.
WrestleMania 28. And we are in Miami, Florida. Opens with Lillian Garcia singing America the Beautiful. Pretty sure she's already done one of these. And I fucking hate when she sings. It's like going to church. Pastor's daughter has a decent voice. So on Sundays, they're dedicated to little mini concerts to force people in the congregation to listen and applaud.
Yeah.
We have an opening video package. It's all about Cena versus The Rock and Undertaker versus Triple H. I thought it was pretty underwhelming. And then Michael Cole and Jerry the King Lawler are on commentary. And I guess they've made up since WrestleMania. They didn't say one thing about their match.
Well, they're professional.
Okay. All right. And the first match is Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan. It's for the World Heavyweight Championship. And Sheamus is here because he won the Royal Rumble. So Daniel Bryan comes out with AJ Lee, and he does his yes dance to the ring. And we have a different Spanish announce team. Carlos Cabrera is still there, but Hugo Sanovich left. And apparently he left the company and was replaced by Marcelo Rodriguez. I thought it was interesting. Fuck you. So
I don't know what to add to that at all.
Well, Hugo Sanovich was the guy that got his head busted open that one WrestleMania. He got carried away as he was smiling.
Oh, I can't picture his face, but I remember that moment.
Yeah. So there are a lot of yes signs in the crowd. It's like a wall. And both men stare at each other from across the ring, and you can feel the rumble of the yes chants going through the screen almost. The bell rings. Brian needs a second to kiss AJ Lee, which he does. Then he turns around. He gets bro kicked from Sheamus. 1, 2, 3. And Sheamus celebrates as the new World Heavyweight Champion. Brian pouts on the entrance ramp. And the fans disappointed me. I expected a riot for as much as they were riding Brian's dick before the bell rang.
Well, he was a heel at this point. So, but yes, I remember this was when it was starting to get over, the yes chant. And then that poured gasoline on it.
Yes. Although maybe if like Cena beat him like this, because Sheamus beat him, and Sheamus, he's been around for a minute, but he's not like one of the established. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if Cena beat him in 18 seconds, I think I would see more reason for the fans to be irate. But I was never really a Daniel Bryan fan, so this didn't bother me.
I think it was more so that he lost in 18 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I remember, the internet being all up in arms about it, but never bothered me.
I wasn't a part of the internet community at that point. So I don't know.
All right. Well, after that, they cut to
online.
Say that again.
I was just saying I was not online. As a matter of fact, this is probably around the time that I stopped being online because it was heavy. Like, I don't know. I just got tired of the whole, oh yeah, this person is set to come back. And then sure enough, they did.
Spoilers.
Yes.
Well, after that, they cut to the locker room. Miz is given a pep talk to Team Laurinaitis. They'll be competing in a 12-man clusterfuck later. The participants are Ziggler, McIntyre, Swagger, Mark Henry, The Miz, Abella, and Vicky Guerrero. Miz said losing isn't an option. Just like Miz won the main event last year's WrestleMania, his team's going to win tonight. And then Miz's team proceeds to blow him off. Mark Henry was funny because he's like, man. David Otunga slides in, and man, he gave off some vibes. You want to talk about fucking Sami Zayn? Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
He was like a male sex slave. He was sipping coffee with his shirt hanging off, his tits all exposed. He's got his midriff hanging out. And then he introduces John Laurinaitis.
And he poses to take a sip of his coffee for some reason. Oiled up.
Yes. And just the way the shirt was the shirt.
Yeah.
So Laurinaitis tells his team, by winning tonight, they're creating a moment that will be etched in the annals of WrestleMania history. Just like when Hogan slammed Andre. Like Austin refusing to tap to Bret Hart. Like, you will become a part of the elite. It'll be known as the night that I, Mr. John Laurinaitis, became general manager of both Raw and SmackDown. Everyone cheered, and then they went somewhere. Which, there's still 4 matches left to go before we get to their clusterfuck, so I don't know where they went.
Let's just say warm up.
No, but they were in the locker room. Wouldn't they warm up there?
I don't know.
Okay. Kane versus Randy Orton. Kane is back to wearing not 1, but 2 masks. And I'm pretty sure a wig too.
This was Welder's mask, Kane. Why a welder's mask? The world may never know.
We may never know. And I like some aspects of the second mask, but it ultimately was shit compared to the first. Like nothing can beat that first one.
Yeah.
Like I like how they're the I like the red, but I like how the like it had the forehead wrinkles and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately the first mask is superior. So apparently Kane is pissed off at himself for shaking Orton's hand after a loss. Called himself a mangled wretch of humanity. So it starts with Orton going right after Kane, and then a Daniel Bryan chant starts going. So they go back and forth. Kane teases a choke slam. Orton teases a draping DDT. Cole, the greatest commentator ever, called it a bulldog. And then Kane also hung Randy on the ropes, kicked him right in the face. They started trading punches. Kane won with an uppercut to the throat. Orton fought out and hit. Orton fought out of a neck hold and hit a swinging neck. God damn it. Orton fought out of a neck hold and then hit a swinging neck breaker. And then there was lots back and forth. Whenever Orton would build a head of steam, Kane would cut him off, begin an offensive flurry. Then Orton would cut him off, begin an offensive flurry. Then Kane would cut him off. So, yeah, back and forth. Kane went for a sidewalk slam. Orton flipped all the way over, hits Kane with a backbreaker and a power slam. Then he hit his draping DDT after tossing Kane into the ring post. He tries to go for an RKO. Kane countered, leveled Orton with a big boot. Kane goes for a top rope clothesline because he loves to fly for a big man, says Cole. You know, we see all them high-flying moves that Kane does. And then Orton catches Kane with a drop kick on the way down. Looks like that fucked Orton's knee up, though. I guess not, because Orton goes to punt Kane. But Kane stands up at the last second, hits a choke slam. They trade punches again. Orton goes for another RKO. Kane gets dropped toe held into the turnbuckles. He goes for the top rope again. Orton catches him and just starts unloading. Orton climbs the top rope with Kane. Looks like he's thinking about going for an RKO. Doesn't matter what he's thinking because Kane catches him with a choke slam off the top rope. 1, 2, 3. And Kane slinks away after the match. Yeah, he was a shell of the big red machine that we're used to as far as the presentation. But no complaints about the match.
I was actually surprised that Kane won.
I was too. But
yeah.
But this is when he first came back and they're still trying to reestablish the monster. They have years of, pissing and shitting in Kane's mouth that they need to erase.
Yeah, that's fair.
Remember, he teamed with X-Pac.
He did. And I mean, this is the run that leads him to the world title, I believe. So there is that.
Oh, I don't remember him having a world title. I remember him having a feud with Cena that he ultimately lost. Because he did the whole rise above hate.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he wanted to make Cena embrace the hate.
Yeah. Which he may have already done that. I don't know. I don't know where we are on the timeline.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember what this Welder's Mask came. I guess it wasn't that memorable of a run, but I thought it was a good. I enjoyed it, but I just don't remember.
I remember there was a lot of build-up to Mask Kane because that's obviously where they were going. But then, as soon as he came out with that second fucking mask, we're like, what the hell? And it just kind of, I don't know. I don't know if you ever recovered from that.
That's fair.
Well, after that, we get a Deadliest Catch commercial. Santino is eating crab legs with Captain Keith and Mick Foley. Santino said he would have been on the season premiere of Deadliest Catch, but Discovery hadn't discovered him yet. Ba-dum-dum-ch. Foley talked like a pirate. Keith couldn't act for shit and asked if they knew how to eat crab legs. Foley and Santino began to desecrate their crab legs with their stupid hand puppets, and Keith inexplicably elbow dropped his. Farouk interrupted and said, "Damn," and this caused Santino to jump and throw his plate. Some food got on Farouk. After the Deadliest Catch commercial, they honored the Florida National Guard, which I probably would have kept our troops as far away from the crab legs as possible.
Another one of those comedy segments on WrestleMania. They don't seem to be too good.
No.
Now,
You don't
I
say.
will foreshadow that there was a segment that I could not stop laughing at in this WrestleMania.
Okay.
Maybe for all the wrong reasons, but...
Okay. Well, we'll get there. Big Show versus Cody Rhodes for the Intercontinental Championship. And Cody took my advice from last week and got some knee pads. And he's also 230 plus days into his reign as Intercontinental Champion. Apparently, that's one of the longest reigns ever. Think about that.
Yeah.
So I guess Cody started targeting the Big Show for some reason. And he made a video package. And it starts off with Big Show claiming he's the most dominant athlete. And it's spliced in with footage of all the times the Big Show made a buffoon out of himself at WrestleMania. The highlight was the one WrestleMania where Kane choked him and he made that face. I think it was WrestleMania 11. No, it wasn't. I don't know what I'm talking about. Shut up. Big Show did not look like he gave two fucks when he came out to the ring. Like he was all smiling and waving and yeah, did not look like a giant at all. And then it starts off and Show's ready to go. Cody runs to the floor. Show gives chase. Cody gets back to the ring, goes for a springboard to the floor. Big Show catches him, tosses him back into the ring over the top rope like a piece of shit. Cody tries to swarm Show again. Big Show shoves Cody off, starts beating his ass in the corner, then tosses him out of it like a piece of shit. Then he stink faces Cody and smiles widely while doing it. Like he shoved him down. Like he didn't beat him, or he didn't get him in a advantageous position. He just shoved his head down and then proceeded to stink face him.
Yeah. And they made sure to mention that it was very hot, humid in Miami.
Then Big Show goes for a running stink face, I guess. Cody sidestepped it, hit Big Show with a couple drop kicks. And he gets shrugged off and gets whipped in the ropes. Cody hits a drop kick to Big Show's leg. And he starts pummeling Big Show. He goes for the injured leg. He DDTs Big Show's leg, which don't see that too often. It's a nice little old school move. And then Big Show ends up literally swatting Cody from his knees, starts spamming clotheslines, whips Cody in the ropes. Cody gets to his feet, climbs the top rope, and then Big Show goes to clothesline Cody off the top rope, but Cody counters it and fucks Big Show's arm up on. He grabs his arm and does like the little guillotine thing. Cody hits a disaster kick. Big Show doesn't leave his feet. He goes for a second disaster kick. It looked like Big Show just uppercutted him in the dick in midair. And Cody got hit with the right hand. 1, 2, 3. I think it was supposed to be a spear, but yeah, it looked like an uppercut to the dick.
Yeah. It's definitely a dick shot. And Cody actually sold it as a dick shot.
I think that's because he got hit in the dick.
Yeah.
After the match, Big Show cried with his new title, which is surprising because, like I said, he didn't look like he gave two shits about being in this match.
I think he was more so crying because of what he's been through. I don't know. It was genuine emotion because of all the embarrassment that he's gone through.
That's fair. Well, then they showcased the girls. The divas try to convince us that they're real athletes while a video of them all literally shaking their ass played. Like, oh, we're superior athletes. We're the top of the line in WWE. And it's just them stripping, basically. So, well done. And then we get a girl match. Beth Phoenix's partner started with Maria. It was Maria and Kelly versus Beth Phoenix and a partner. Maria and Kelly. Huh?
Eve Torres was the
partner
for Beth Phoenix.
Okay.
Not that it matters.
No, it doesn't. So Maria and Kelly stink-faced Phoenix's partner. They did a double stink face. I think, what would King call it? A happy face?
Something like that.
Yeah. Phoenix
and asked if he could be next.
Of course. Phoenix and her partner beat the fuck out of Maria. Kelly did a flip onto Phoenix. And then Beth Phoenix blatantly allowed Kelly to turn her finish into a bulldog. Cole announced that it was a counter before the counter even occurred. And then Maria ended up winning with a roll-up. Yeah, women's wrestling is ass. God.
This was not
terrible.
Women's wrestling.
And like any metric that you want to judge it, it was terrible.
My biggest thing I couldn't get over was the fact that Beth Phoenix had to sell for Kelly.
Right.
And Maria Menounos, or whatever her name is. Yeah, I wasn't... I did not appreciate this match.
Matt Striker interviews Shawn Michaels. Striker says Michaels must have conflicting emotions and wants to know what Shawn thinks about it. Michaels says that this is the end of an era. Either the streak ends or the game ends. Because Triple H couldn't do what Michaels couldn't. Or because Triple H couldn't do what Michaels couldn't or something. And Michaels says Undertaker ended his career, so it's only fitting that I hold the power to end the era in the palm of my hand. Then they announced the attendance, which is 78,363. Whoop, whoop. And then Jim Ross came out for commentary. And JR came out looking like his evil twin. Because he had the goatee. And he didn't say anything about Cole calling him fat last year. So we're just going to look past that. And then Michaels came out to do some officiating. Then we get Triple H versus The Undertaker and the Hell in the Cell, end of an era. And they make their entrances. They meet in the middle. Thunder plays when Taker drops his hood. And oh yeah, he got his hair cut like a teenage girl with mental issues.
Well, it didn't make sense what they were trying to sell here. Because they said that we haven't seen The Undertaker since last WrestleMania. So we're in the time frame where he just shows up for WrestleMania matches. That's fine. But they start to tell the story that The Undertaker was he cut his hair until Triple H accepted the match. And that was the story that they were telling. So are we just supposed to imagine here that, like, what is he cutting, like one strand at a time? Like, oh, he didn't accept it because, it's 365 days. Is it taking 365 days to cut his hair?
Yeah, it was kind of weird. But in reality, Undertaker just couldn't simply grow his hair out that long in time for WrestleMania. So he just buzzed it all off.
So he did cut it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what is he doing that for?
Well, I think after WrestleMania, he cut it all off. And he thought he had enough time to grow it back, but he didn't.
A year?
Yeah.
Well, he is old.
Yeah.
You know, when you're old, you cut your hair, it doesn't grow back as fast as it used to.
Yeah, or is full.
Yeah.
So they're still in the middle of the ring. They talk a little shit, and suddenly Undertaker looks up. Then Triple H looks up, and we see a whole bunch of smoke. Then Metallica's Memory Remains starts playing while the cell lowers. And the match starts off with both of them beating the fuck out of each other. This was not a wrestling match. This was a goddamn fight. Taker takes control, tosses Triple H out onto the floor, starts pummeling him. He throws Triple H into the steel steps. Triple H throws Undertaker into the steel cell. Then he hits Undertaker hits Triple H with a back body drop on the floor. Michaels tries to check on the beaten Triple H. Taker just shoves him out of the way. Taker finally gets back in the ring. No sells a Triple H knee drop. He hits Old School. And he takes it back to the floor, picks up the steel steps, clobbers Triple H with him, then throws the base of the steel steps in the ring. He hits an apron leg drop. And Triple H fights back with a DDT out of nowhere. He slams Undertaker's face in the base of the steel steps. And he sets Taker up for a pedigree. Also on the steel steps. Taker counters with a back body drop. Triple H counters a lariat with a spine buster on the steel steps. Then Taker locks in Hell's Gate, also on the steel steps. I think that was in the last match.
Yeah, it was a callback to the last match.
So Triple H basically turns it into a power bomb to break the hold. And looks like Triple H is busted open at this point. He goes to the floor, gets a chair, then proceeds to beat the fuck out of Taker. He leans up the steel steps in the corner, chucks Taker into him. He goes back to using the chair on him. Michaels tries to get him to stop and cover him. And Michaels gets shoved again. And yeah, Triple H just goes nuts with the chair. Michaels eventually grabs the chair and tosses it. Triple H yells at him. He needs to just end the match if he wants it over so bad. Michaels yells, just cover him. You know he's not quitting. So Triple H just goes and grabs another chair. Michaels tries to get Taker to quit. Triple H shoves Michaels out of the again, this time on his ass. Then he goes nuts with the chair again. Like he went ham with the chair. He yells at Michaels, end it or I will. Michaels goes to Taker, who says, do not stop it. And Triple H is screaming, stay down! Stay down! Undertaker crawls to his feet. Triple H beats the shit out of him some more with the chair. Triple H goes to the floor, grabs the sledgehammer. Michaels is with Taker, who's telling him, just stop it. Just stop it. And Triple H gets to the ring. Michaels stops him. Triple H tells him to end it or he will, one way or the other. Do it, Sean, or I will, one way or the other. Michaels goes to Taker pleading, please, just let me ring the bell. Taker says no. Then he gets level with the sledgehammer. And Triple H, after that, tries to murder Undertaker with the sledgehammer. Like, yeah, Undertaker was face down, and Triple H just kind of stands over him, and then he like holds up the sledgehammer. He was going to assassinate him. And Michaels, is pleading. Taker still says no. Triple H yells at Michaels to end the match. Michaels checks on Taker again. He's not moving. And he goes to ring the bell. He thinks twice. Then he checks on Taker again. Taker starts moving just a little bit. Michaels goes to ring the bell. Triple H screams, do it! Do it! Michaels checks on Taker again, and then he gets locked into Hell's Gate. And Triple H comes out of nowhere, hits Taker with the sledgehammer again. Checks on Michaels, then goes to finish Taker with the sledgehammer. Taker kicks Triple H in the balls, and then locks in Hell's Gate. Triple H starts squirming, picks up the sledgehammer, drops it, thrashes some more, picks up the hammer again, passes out, and for some reason, Taker just let go of the hold. Me personally, I would have held on to that hold until either a ref came out to end the match or Triple H just stopped moving altogether.
I think he couldn't hold it anymore because he was in. I don't know.
So Charles Robinson comes out to replace Michaels after Taker technically won. Useless. Taker hits a choke slam. Triple H kicks out. Undertaker gets pissed off and then choke slams Little Nate, which got a "This is awesome" chant because the fans are stupid. Like, why would you "This is awesome" of ref getting choke slammed?
They didn't like Baby Nate.
So it looks like the Undertaker goes for a tombstone. Triple H escapes. Michaels is waiting. He hits Sweet Chin Music, and then Triple H hits a pedigree. Taker kicks out, and Michaels flips his shit, which I would have too. Like, come on. Triple H grabs the sledgehammer again. Michaels gets between him and Taker for some reason. Like, you just kicked him in the face. What does this matter? And Triple H proceeds to toss Michaels out of the ring. Undertaker sits up, nails Triple H with a big boot, lands a flurry of punches, hits Snake Eyes, another big boot, an atomic drop, then a tombstone, and Triple H kicked out. And Taker drooled all over Triple H's back. And they got him real close on it, too. So then they literally fight to their feet. Like, they're both lying on their stomach and they start like hitting and slapping each other. Then they get on their knees and they start trading punches and then they just like slowly get to their feet. Taker goes for a tombstone. Triple H escapes, hits the pedigree. Triple H crawls to the sledgehammer, Taker at the same time. Taker crawls to a chair. Triple H gets to the sledgehammer, but Taker gets to his feet first and stands on Triple H's hammer. Then he shakes his head slowly. Then he cracks Triple H in the face with the edge of the chair. Then he takes his turn to go ham with the chair. Michaels gets in the middle. Taker throws the chair and tries to end it. Triple H kicks out. Michael starts yelling at both of them. It's like, you guys are just stupid. Is it really worth it? Then they all sort of yell at each other. Because it looked like Triple H yelled at Shawn Michaels, and then it looked like Undertaker yelled at him too, and then it looked like everybody was just yelling at everybody. Triple H gets the sledgehammer again, slowly gets to his feet. Taker yells, "Stay down." Triple H swings at Taker with the hammer. Taker just catches it, and shakes his head. Call back to last year with the choke slam. Triple H gives Taker a little shove. Taker ends up with the hammer. Triple H looks at Taker, looks at Michaels, looks at Taker and says, "Fuck him." Does the crotch chop. Taker brains Triple H with the sledgehammer. Then he tosses it out of the ring, lowers the straps. Triple H starts using Undertaker's legs to climb to his feet. He looks up. Taker does the throat slash, hits a tombstone. 1, 2, 3. And Undertaker is 20-0. And both men are down. Michaels is standing over them, looking sad. Then he helps Taker to his feet. They hug, which is weird because they both attacked each other during the match. And then Taker helps Michaels get Triple H to his feet, which is even weirder since Triple H tried to murder Undertaker with the sledgehammer. And then they walk to the entrance ramp and hug. And yeah, definitely the best of the four, in my opinion. And not as egregious with the finishers. I mean, they're there, but
yeah,
I think the worst one was
kicking out of the tombstone, or I'm sorry, the super kick into the tombstone, into the pedigree.
Yeah, that was the worst one.
Yeah. Clean as day too.
Yes.
But yes, definitely.
It wasn't even a delayed cover either. Like,
no.
Like Shawn didn't even, like, he didn't stand there and like, oh, what did I do? He immediately went to count that 3 and Undertaker still kicked out.
Yeah, which is why his reaction was like, shit.
Yeah.
Or I took it as like, well, I took my shot and it didn't work. It's like, I don't know. It's like you if you're gonna turn on someone, you got to make sure it's gonna work.
Kind of reminded me
almost
when.
like,
Oh, good.
Oh, I was just gonna say it's almost like the WrestleMania when Austin turned and The Rock kicked out, and then he was looking at Mr. McMahon like, "You said this is gonna work." Like, I took my shot and it didn't work.
I was thinking more like when Scott Steiner turned on Rick, and Rick started fighting back.
Oh yeah, he kicked out.
Like, oh shit.
Yes, that too. I guess that happens pretty frequently. The turn doesn't work.
No. But yeah, it was a stellar match. And it was I think it was 30 minutes or so. 30 minutes, 53 seconds. And it did not feel like that at all.
No, they told a great story. I don't know. You can almost say the Hell in a Cell wasn't like needed because they didn't really like use the cell too much.
Right.
But I would also say this is one of the better Hell in a Cell matches in history. Just funny.
I think it's one of the better matches in history.
Yeah. But yeah, it's funny that you could say it's like one of the better Hell in a Cells. There's also didn't need to be a Hell in a Cell match.
Well, I would say if I were to get nitpicky, I would say as a Hell in a Cell match, it fails. But as a wrestling match, as a classic wrestling match, it should be something that people need to watch to learn.
Yeah. Yeah, it would have almost been better if they didn't have the Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
All it would have done was increase, or we would have been able to see better.
I wonder what. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. I wonder what the reasoning was for the Hell in the Cell.
I don't know. Maybe so no one can get out or in. Like no interference.
Nobody interfered in the first match.
Right.
And nobody interfered in the Shawn Michaels matches. Like, there's not been a history of people interfering in the Undertaker's WrestleMania match.
Yeah, and I don't know who would have interfered anyway. So
exactly. Just seemed like they just wanted the spectacle.
Yeah.
It was worth it though.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. Could have watched it for. It was like that's like one of the I'll watch it again matches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the first two I will watch again. The Shawn Michaels matches, just I don't know, for some reason they don't do it for me, which is weird because Shawn Michaels is better.
Maybe because there's more in-ring psychology.
Probably
in these two.
Plus, I think Triple H has to work a little bit harder because, Shawn Michaels is considered, the best. Even though Triple H he's no slouch.
Yeah.
He still has to work a little bit harder to get to that level in the eyes of, I don't know, the fans, I guess.
Well, because you can't do as flippy flop as Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels, he does the high flying stuff.
That's true.
Which, in the IWC or whoever's judging, if you can do flippy flop, then makes you a better wrestler.
Well, up next, they did the Hall of Fame 2012 inductees. It was Farouk, Mil Mascares, the Four Horsemen, Yokozuna, Mike Tyson, and Edge. So a star-studded Hall of Fame, this class. It's like the opposite of that one that Ted DiBiase was headlining.
Unfortunately.
And then I thought it was funny when everybody was hugging each other except for Mascara's and Yokozuna's family. They all kind of stood alone like losers. They were kind of watching. Like, how come no one's hugging us? Then we get Josh Matthews in the back. Ew. Says The Rock's good friend Flo Rida will be performing later. Heath Slater interrupts. Says he's the one-man Southern rock band. And then Flo Rida appears. Slater calls him Florida. And Heath wants to do a duet, which gets a hard pass. So then Slater suggests being a DJ. And then that gets a no too. And he's like, well, what about a backup dancer? And that's still a no. And he's like, well, what can I do? And Flo Rida says, you can hold my mic. Well, Slater starts to pop off. Flo Rida shoves Slater hard into the wall.
Very aggressively.
Yeah. And then two black guys just come from nowhere to make sure that it's an uneven fight. And then two white dudes come out of nowhere to laugh at Slater. Which I thought that the dichotomy of the two friends, because the Flo Rida's friends were ready, but Slater's friends, they just came to poke fun.
Well, I'm actually surprised at you there. Okay, so the guys for Flo Rida was his entourage or bodyguards.
Mm-hmm.
And then the two guys that came out for Heath Slater were two wrestlers. Now, I thought you were about to get tracked there, but you didn't, so that's good.
What do you mean?
So, one of the, well, I guess I don't know. So one of them was Gabby Tuft, who is a woman now.
Oh, I have no idea who that is.
Tyler Rex is the former name, but now that's actually a woman, and his name is Gabby Tuft.
Oh. Well,
now I'll let you figure out how that works. If it was a man then, and now it's a woman.
As soon as Tyler can tell me how it works, then then I'll tell you how it works.
I was like, oh, when I saw it, I was like, oh boy, here we go.
Oh. I don't know Tyler Rex on site like that.
Oh.
I know of Tyler Rex, and I know what he's trying to be now, but I do know he could still. If he was standing in front of me, I would probably call him a she, because he still has muscles and he's still a big dude.
True.
So out of self-preservation, I will forego my principles. Anything to add with Florida and the one-man Southern rock band?
No, just an aggressive ass push.
Yeah. Man, it was hard. I wonder if Slater was waiting for it.
Well, I'm sure it was planned, but I didn't think, he probably didn't expect it was going to be that hard. Like, Jesus.
It would have been funny if he went through the drywall.
Yeah.
12 nobody clusterfuck to determine the GM of Raw and SmackDown. They somehow found a different. It was Hornswoggle. It looked like somebody different. So I thought they got a different midget.
Nope, same one.
So nothing remarkable happened except for Mark Henry. He's just awesome. Zack Ryder's bitch tried to fist pump with him, and he ate a skull-crushing finale, and that cost his team the win. So Team Johnny won. So they celebrated. I'm telling you, man, there's something off about Otunga. Ryder's bitch kicked him in the dick after the match. It was weird too, because like the whole team kind of got in the corner and they're all just kind of looking at Zack Ryder like, "What are you doing, man? Cost us the match. Get your bitch in line." And then she kicks him in the dick, and they're all like, "What are you doing?"
And I'll be honest, I watched this WrestleMania last weekend, and then we didn't do the show because I was sick, but that's fine. So now, I don't remember this match at all. Like, I couldn't tell you one thing that happened in this match.
You're not missing
outside
anything.
of the dick kick.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I remember Mark Henry and Booker had a nice little back and forth because they're two big angry black dudes just beating the shit out of each other. That's always fun to watch.
Yeah,
but everybody else was nobodies, and you got the curse of the WrestleMania main event being in some bullshit match the next year with Miz.
Yeah. The falling off the face of the planet.
Yeah, he never recovers. That's some bullshit too, man, because you would think, like, if you were a champion once, you could be at least champion again. Like, maybe not right away, maybe even not like 5 years, but as long as he's been there, he's only held that belt once.
Twice.
Oh, he's had it twice?
Yeah, he wins it. Now, it's later because he cashed in Money in the Bank to win it again. But
I thought that's how he won this one.
Probably.
Okay. Well, Tori Wilson showed up to tell the world she's fucking Alex Rodriguez. Then they did a fan access. And it just seems like it's an excuse for the wrestlers to play golf.
That's fair. I forgot about the Tori Wilson, Alex A-Rod stint.
Yeah, so did I. CM Punk is in the back warming up. Laurinaitis runs into him. And he wants to know why Punk's not celebrating. Maybe it's because of the upcoming match with Jericho. Says, "You seem to be angry after all these personal attacks against your family from Jericho. Looks like you want to beat him up. Well, I don't want a brawl out there. I want a wrestling match. So if you lose your temper and get disqualified, you also lose the WWE Championship to Chris Jericho." Punk gets pissed. Laurinaitis wishes him a good match.
Already throwing around his power.
Sure is. Chris Jericho versus CM Punk for the WWE Championship. If Punk is disqualified, he will lose the title. And we are in the midst of the Summer of Punk. This is after the pipe bomb. This is peak Punk. Peak Punk. And Jericho is also in his stupid light jacket phase.
And this is best in the world versus the best in the world at what I do.
Yeah. So we get a video package. CM Punk, declared himself the best in the world. Jericho reckons that's his catchphrase or some variation of it. Jericho loves the catchphrase so much, he exposes the substance abuse issues that Punk's father and his sister deal with. And Jericho also reveals that Punk's birthday was before his parents' wedding day, making him legally a bastard. And Punk says his family's off limits and that he's not a bastard, but he is the best in the world. Says he's swimming with the sharks on top while Jericho's dancing with the stars. This is when Jericho did Dancing with the Stars. Jericho says the only reason he came back was to beat Punk for the title and show everyone that he is the best in the world at everything he does. So I feel like this was the first match to start with a proper lockup. I don't think any of the other matches up to this point did. So they try to chain wrestle. Punk starts wailing on Jericho. Ref warns Punk. Punk stomps on Jericho in the corner. Ref gets a little stern. Jericho slaps Punk, which causes him to get stomped out again. Jericho slaps Punk again, then he goes to cower in the corner. Like before, so he slaps him and then he runs to the corner, cowering because he knows that Punk's going to beat the shit out of him, which he does. And then the ref gets him out of the corner. Hey, I don't want to disqualify you, but I will. Then Jericho screams, "Hey, Punk, how's your father?" With a little evil smile. And he gets stomped out again. Punk goes for a top rope elbow drop. Jericho rolls out of the ring. Then Punk hits a clothesline from the top rope. Jericho asks Punk how his sister is. So Punk grabs a chair and chases Jericho back in the ring. Punk rears back to cream Jericho with it, but stops himself. Ref is screaming at him. He's going to disqualify Punk if he goes through with this. Jericho's screaming at Punk to hit him. His father's a drunk. His sister's a drug addict. Punk reluctantly throws the chair down. Jericho catches Punk with a drop kick, starts wailing on him. And then he gets Punk on the apron, goes for a springboard drop kick, misses. Punk grabs him and sets him up for a GTS. Jericho escapes, lariats Punk back into the ring. Punk gets superplexed onto the floor from the apron. Punk gets suplexed onto the floor from the apron. And Jericho beats on Punk on the floor for a bit, tosses him back in the ring, gets a couple elbow drops in, then a double underhook backbreaker, locks in a chokehold. Punk fights out, but gets nailed with a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker. And then Jericho cracks Punk with a kick to the back, nails a standing senton. Punk starts fighting back, jumps on the top ropes, but Jericho snatches him and hurls him to the mat. He locks in an arm submission. Punk fights out of it, goes for the Shining Wizard. Jericho blocks it, goes for a bulldog, but Punk blocks that and sends Jericho to the opposite turnbuckle. Punk starts firing up on Jericho, hits a neck breaker. Then he hits the Shining Wizard, goes for the bulldog, but Jericho blocks it. And he attempted a lion salt, but Punk got his knees up. But Jericho caught Punk's knees, and he starts going to the lion tamer, but Punk twists out of it and kicks Jericho in the head. So Punk goes to the top rope, holds his arms up for the Macho Man elbow drop, and then Jericho gets his knees up to block that. Then he hits a code breaker, and Punk wisely rolled out of the ring. Jericho chases after Punk, and Punk hits a GTS on Jericho on the way back in the ring. Jericho gets his foot on the ropes after Punk slowly crawled to make the cover. Punk starts wailing on Jericho, hits a power slam. They go back and forth, teasing German suplexes. Jericho hangs Punk on the ropes and hits a lion salt. And then he goes to the top rope to do something, but Punk catches him and goes for a top rope Frankensteiner. Jericho blocks it, locks in a lion tamer. Punk crawls to the ropes and then sends Jericho flying out of the ring so Punk can hit a suicide dive. Then he hit a Shining Wizard to Jericho while his head was against the ring post. I think we've seen him do that before. May have been to Randy.
I don't remember.
And Punk tosses Jericho back in the ring, goes for a springboard clothesline. Jericho catches Punk with another code breaker. He starts yelling at Punk. And then Punk tries another GTS. Jericho escapes, goes for the top rope move. Punk catches Jericho with a kick, then goes for the GTS again. Jericho blocks it again, gets Punk in the lion tamer. Punk fights out of it. They trade roll-up. Punk fights out of it. They trade roll-ups. Punk locks in an Anaconda Vice. Jericho fights out of it, goes for the lion tamer again. Punk blocks it, locks in the Anaconda Vice again, and Jericho is forced to tap. Jericho gives Punk a little kick, then leaves the ring. And Punk celebrates as the champion.
excellent match. I enjoyed it.
Okay.
And I like the ending where, they did the Anaconda Vice and Jericho's kneeing Punk in the back of the head. So when he put it on the second time, he like moved his body up so he couldn't knee him. It's the little things like that I enjoy.
Yeah. I remember being very underwhelmed because this, like I said, this was after his pipe bomb and when this was supposed to be peak Punk. And I remember just this whole thing being just completely underwhelming. For one, The Rock and Cena being the main event. I know it's a year in advance and blah, 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 but, Punk is the world heavyweight champion. And up to this point, for the most part, the world heavyweight champion is main event at WrestleMania.
Yeah, one or the other.
Unless it's The Undertaker.
Well, that was the the main event. Like him and Shawn Michaels.
Right. But yeah, I think, and then, I don't know, Jericho, yeah. Just the whole, well, you say my catchphrase, but it's not really my catchphrase because I got extra phrases in my catchphrase. I do remember he came back and he didn't say shit.
Yeah, I guess I can see what you're saying. I think I remember, thinking it was going to be a better wrestling match since they're both, coining themselves the best in the world in some variation.
That's another thing. If the whole feud is based on who's the best in the world, shouldn't you be the best in the world? You saw fucking Triple H and Undertaker. Try to be better than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if it was their fault.
Well, they didn't have enough time.
Yeah, it was 20 minutes.
As much time.
He came back and he was mad at Punk for stealing his catchphrase. I remember they teamed and Jericho hit like an arm drag or something and then tagged himself out and then left. But yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Mixed emotions, I guess.
Fair enough. We got a WrestleMania 29 promo. Okay. And then Funkasaurus! Clay says the Funkasaurus is at Mania. And he wants the audience to pull out their phones so they can call their mamas. And then Brodus calls his mama.
And one guy in the crowd did too. And everybody was laughing at him. You got laughed at by a whole stadium.
And it turns out that Mamasaurus is in the building with her bridge club. And Clay brings her out. Clay's mama comes out with a comically large ass, starts shaking her thang to Clay's music. Then the bridge club arrives, and for some reason they're all dressed exactly like Mamasaurus. And yeah, they got down.
This is the segment that I was referring to earlier that I laughed so hard at.
Was it her dancing?
It was everything about it. Everything about it. That lady Mamasaurus comes out. She's got the overly big ass. It was like racist on so many levels.
How is it racist?
Well, as you know, I was thinking that Mr. McMahon, when he was planning this segment, let's put some pillows back there and make her ass really big, and all, because They got those big asses.
Yeah, those negresses have those voluptuous asses.
Yeah. Maybe it was like their thing that they already had, but I don't know. In my mind, Vince McMahon had a say in this and
Oh, I'm sure he
made
did.
him put it like, let's get some bootylicious suits. And then, yeah, and then they're shaking the, I don't know, just everything about it just made me laugh so hard.
I did like when she was really getting into it, and Clay just it looked like he broke character.
He was
Couldn't
funny
stop
too,
laughing.
just like holding his mouth open.
I tried to get a good picture of it. I couldn't for the thumbnail.
Oh. Yeah, I know he hated that character, but he did do well with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not something that you're going to see main event any pay-per-view, but for what it was.
Yeah, I remember when he first debuted it. It was this big play on like Brodus Clay, and then it comes out, he's dancing like, and then like after the match, you're like, what the hell did I just see?
Wasn't he supposed to be something before that? And then they just kind of changed it all.
Yeah, I remember he was Del Rio's bodyguard.
Right. And then they broke up, but I thought like he was repackaged as something. And then the next time you saw him, he was the Funkasaurus.
Oh. I don't remember, but I know, yeah, he was the bodyguard, and then he had this serious, like, heavy role, and then, yeah, he goes and gets repackages and comes out dancing. And
I mean, at least he didn't have to wear a dress.
True. It's like, oh, the Big Show's getting to the end of his career. We need someone new big that we can embarrass.
Yes. Well, after that, Machine Gun Kelly allegedly rapped a song before Cena came out. And then
I gotta give him his props. Now, it might have been lip sync, but yeah, he was cooking. I gotta give him his props on that one.
Again, he allegedly rapped a song before Cena came out. And then Flo Rida performed 2 songs before The Rock came out. It was awful. Awful, awful.
Well, Flo Rida is, more bubblegum.
Oh, I don't like that club shit.
Yeah, he's bubblegum.
Like, he kind of reminds me of Pitbull, just worse.
Yeah, Pitbull's bubblegum too. Like, they're just making the top 40 chart songs.
Just dance shit. Oh, we'll put this in the club. Well, girls getting date raped.
Nothing serious about them.
No, I mean,
nothing hard about them, I should say.
No, I mean, I don't know. Pitbull, I don't know. He kind of has like an MC Hammer vibe. Where he's got that low-key hard ass. Because apparently Hammer was somebody you don't want to fuck with.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Method Man has a story about that. Because apparently, like, there was an interview where he was just breaking into the business. And I don't know if Hammer said something first or not, but he was Redman was asked about Hammer. And he said, oh, fuck Hammer and his mom. Just kind of offhand comment. Mm-hmm. Well, I guess Redman was in his town one day and Hammer with a whole bunch of people like, hey, I got to talk to you.
We just want to talk.
Yeah. He's like, I've heard you and like what you're doing, but I just want you to know I don't let nobody talk to me about my mama like that. And Redman's like, yes, sir. Yeah. Apparently you don't want to fuck with MC Hammer.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I kind of get that vibe from Pitbull. Because he's got I don't know, he's got that low-key professional vibe.
Yeah.
Like, Flo Rida he overtly tries to, I don't know, do the thug thing, but then when you do the dance shit, I don't know. I might just be talking out of my ass. Why are we fucking talking about Pitbull?
Because we're talking about Flo Rida.
All right.
Oh, and we forgot to point out that Flo Rida was introduced by one Sean Diddy Combs.
Was he?
So you would imagine that maybe he had there was when all this stuff was happening, there was a callback to like, when Diddy at one of the WrestleManias. Well, there you go.
There you go.
So, you know what that entails.
There was some shitting on people then.
Like, yeah, him and Vince McMahon. Golly.
There wasn't a dry face in the arena.
And now we got like Maria Menounos and Kelly, Beth Phoenix, David Otunga. Because Diddy got down like that, so
yeah. And David Otunga, I mean,
maybe.
So John Cena versus The Rock. And this is once in a lifetime. So that means we'll never see it again. That's what once in a lifetime means.
Yep.
So they do the introductions, and thank God Cena didn't do his lame ass shadow boxing shit. Also, this crowd is fully behind The Rock. It's also worth noting that The Rock is from Miami.
Yes.
So they get in the middle of the ring. Cena tells Rock he better be ready. They say some other shit I can't understand. Finally, the bell rings. They circle each other and then collide with a lockup. And then Cena shoves Rock on his ass. They lock up again. This time, Cena's sent flying on his ass. They lock up for a third time. Rock takes control with a side headlock, hits a series of arm drags, does a Mahi straw cradle. Cena gives a look like, what the fuck was that? I never watched WCW, so I wouldn't know what that move is. And Cena whips Rock into the ropes, gets shoulder tackled on his ass. Rock continues to run the ropes. Cena leapfrogs the Rock and hits an arm drag. Rock levels Cena with a right hook. Cena gets pissed and charges. Rock does a double leg takedown and goes for a sharpshooter. Cena bitches to the floor. Rock catches Cena with a kick as he's getting back in the ring. And Cena gets Rock in the corner and does a bunch of running shoulder charges. And he decks Rock with a clothesline, then applies a good old-fashioned bear hug right on the mat. Rock fights out with the bear hug, but Cena sends him out of the ring. He follows him, slams Rock into the barricade, and then on the announce desk, he tosses Rock back in the ring, beats the fuck out of him, hits a belly-to-belly suplex. Rock tries to fight back. Cena gets Rock in another bear hug. Rock eventually fights out of the bear hug and plants Cena with the DDT. They trade punches. Rock hits a flying clothesline and a spine buster. He sets Cena up for a people's elbow. Cena snatches Rock, goes for an STFU. Rock fights out of that. And then Cena starts to do his shoulder tackle thing again. Hits a belly to back suplex. Hits the 5-knuckle shuffle. Sets up for the FU. Fans boo Cena, which is funny. He smiles at them and nods like, yep, I'm going to beat your hero. And Cena picks the Rock up for the FU. Rock escapes. They double clothesline each other. They trade haymakers again. Cena nails Rock with an FU. Rock kicks out. Place erupts with a Let's Go Cena, Cena sucks chant. It's like they start the Let's Go Cena just so people can say Cena sucks. And Cena lifts Rock up to his feet, and he gets hit with a rock bottom. And Cena kicks out, and the crowd just stopped cheering. Like all the momentum just died. So the Rock starts beating the shit out of Cena in the corner. Cena hits a sidewalk slam. Then he hits a leg drop from the top rope, goes for another FU. Rock blocks it, takes Cena down, locks in a sharpshooter, and Cena crawls to the ropes to break the hold. Rock mounts Cena and starts wailing on him, then locks in the sharpshooter again. And boy, did Rock have an ugly sharpshooter.
Well, this was what they say is his first match in 7 years.
Come on.
He just didn't get, it's probably Cena's fault.
Okay. Well, we'll get to Cena. Cena's STFU wasn't that much better. Like, Rock is gingerly holding Cena's leg, and then Cena, I don't even think he's holding Rock's head in the STFU. So
he wasn't. He wasn't at all.
So I don't know, man. Cena gets the ropes, then falls out of the ring. Rock slams Cena into the steel steps a few times. He tosses him back in the ring. Cena hits a sunset flip from the apron, then turns it into an STFU. Rock tries to crawl to the ropes. Cena pulls him back to the middle of the ring, goes back to the STFU. They tease Rock passing out. They do the 3 arm raises beautifully. Rock crawls to the ropes. Rock hits a Samoan drop out of desperation. They get to their feet, trade punches again. Rock goes for a rock bottom. Cena escapes, goes for an FU. Rock escapes, hits a spine buster, hits a people's elbow. Rock snatches Cena, and Cena hits a small package out of nowhere. Crowd wills both men to their feet. Cena launches Rock into the turnbuckles, tries a schoolboy. He sets Rock on the top, goes for a superplex. Rock starts fighting out of it, hits a crossbody from the top rope, but Cena rolls through it, lifts Rock on his shoulders, hits an FU, and holy shit, that wasn't the finish. Cena said as much as well. He couldn't believe it. And then Cena thinks for a bit, then just sort of shrugs, and he goes for people's elbow. And when he took the sweatband off and threw it in the crowd, I kind of wanted the crowd to throw it back at him. That would have been beautiful. Later on in his career, they will throw his shirt back at him.
Yeah. Oh, ECW one night stand.
So the Rock hops to his feet just in time, catches Cena with a rock bottom, 1, 2, 3. Rock celebrates in the ring, hugs the ref real tight. Cena sits on the entrance ramp pouting. And yeah, I still can't believe Cena lost.
Yeah, at the time, we didn't know. This is once in a lifetime.
Right.
So it's surprising that Cena lost.
I never
Once
thought in a million years.
Do what?
I never thought in a million years he would have lost.
I didn't either until it's like, yeah. I thought Cena would have won this one, and then to her surprise, But I thought, yeah, if it once in a lifetime, then obviously Cena would win this.
Right. But yeah, this was a stellar match. And I can't stand either one of these guys.
Yeah, it's very... I like that there was, the psychology in it.
Mm-hmm.
Even the little things, like at the beginning, Cena telling The Rock, "We got an hour," and he kept they're doing the talking. He kept telling them to be ready.
Mm-hmm.
When The Rock hit him with the cradle, he was like surprised, and he was asking the ref, "That was 2, right? That was 2." They even went to like selling a injury, The Rock's ribs. So yeah, old school match.
It definitely had a big fight feel to it.
And that was the other thing, like the crowd was like on every hit.
Mm-hmm.
There's people, as Cena said, there's people behind this scoreboard. And why you would pay for that kind of seat? Like you're just looking at cardboard the whole. But yeah, this is a big moment. This is what WrestleMania is all about too.
And you know what? If I'm being honest, this was almost a perfect WrestleMania top to bottom.
Yeah. This is definitely one of the better WrestleManias.
Except for that 12-man clusterfuck.
Like I said, I don't remember that match at all.
Well, you're better for that. So the following night on Raw, John Cena talked about his loss to The Rock, and he asked for The Rock to come out so he could offer his congratulations. Instead, Brock Lesnar came out to make his first appearance since WrestleMania 20, and he laid out Cena with an F5. So the following week, a match between Cena and Lesnar was scheduled for Extreme Rules. It's later changed to an Extreme Rules match, which Cena won. So, yay.
Oh, that wasn't the one that created Suplex City?
That was SummerSlam.
Well, I'm saying this wasn't the return that made Suplex City. So has Brock gone to UFC yet or no?
I think he came back from UFC.
Okay. So he has this
He came back.
sword tattoo on his chest now.
Brock came back, but he wasn't like the Beast. Like he was a monster, but he was a losing monster. But then like they decided to just push him as an unstoppable suplex machine. And I think that was right around the time when Undertaker lost.
Yeah. So this is not sword chest Lesnar yet.
I think it is.
Okay.
But it's just he has one more evolution to go through.
Okay.
On the next episode of SmackDown, it was announced that a 2 out of 3 falls match between Daniel Bryan and Sheamus would take place for the World Heavyweight Championship, also at Extreme Rules. And Sheamus won. So fuck you, Daniel Bryan. Also on SmackDown, Randy Orton and Kane faced each other again, this time in a no disqualification match. Orton won. A Falls Count Anywhere match between the two was later scheduled at Extreme Rules. Orton won that one as well. And that ended the feud.
There you go.
A tables match was scheduled between Big Show and Cody Rhodes for Extreme Rules, and Rhodes won to reclaim his Intercontinental title. And CM Punk and Chris Jericho faced each other in a street fight at Extreme Rules, and Punk won that one as well. And at the 2013 Royal Rumble, John Cena won to earn himself a world title match at WrestleMania 29. Okay. Well, later that night, The Rock defeated CM Punk to end Punk's 434-day reign as champion. So on the following night on Raw, Cena chose to face The Rock for the World Heavyweight or for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 29, making the WWE bold-faced fucking liars.
Yep, once in a lifetime, happening again the very next year. Didn't even wait for it.
Nope. So, yeah, WrestleMania 29 is our next WWE pay-per-view. It's marketed as WrestleMania New York, New Jersey. The event was in East Rutherford, New Jersey. And yeah, the main event was Cena versus The Rock 2. We'll see if it lives up to the first match.
It would be interesting. I don't think I watched this one.
I did.
So,
I watched them both.
Oh, that's good.
I can't remember. I don't remember other than Cena winning. I remember them hugging at the end of the match. It's pretty much the same shit. Their moveset isn't very diverse.
Yeah.
But before we get to all that, we have Spring Stampede 1998 from WCW. And this is just the third Spring Stampede pay-per-view. And it took place on April 19th, 1998. And it was in Denver, Colorado at the Denver Coliseum. And the main event was a no disqualification match between Sting and Randy Savage. This was for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. And the featured matches were Diamond Dallas Page versus Raven. This was a Ravens Rules match for the WCW United States Heavyweight Championship. We had Hollywood Hogan and Kevin Nash versus Roddy Piper and the Giant in a baseball bat on a pole match.
Oh.
That's a better reaction than I had. We had Lex Luger and Scott Steiner versus, Lex Luger and Rick Steiner versus Scott Steiner and Buff Bagwell in a tag team match. And then we had Goldberg versus Saturn. And I'm going to beat Saturn's ass match.
And you're about to get a squash match?
Yeah. Booker T versus Chris Benoit. This was for the WCW World Television Championship. And Mr. Perfect versus the British Bulldog, which I think they've already faced each other.
I can't remember a one-on-one with them.
Or I might be confusing him with Mongo. But that is our Wrestling Rewind.
Not too shabby. Almost to the 30s in the WrestleMania. And then we got like 10 more to go.
Yeah.
Well, we already have this year and last year on the channel. So, obviously, we wouldn't have to rewatch those so soon. So, we only got like, I can't math that, like 8 more to go.
I don't know. I just remember like 2 years ago, you said, "Oh, we'll watch it before WrestleMania. Get all them WrestleManias out of the way."
Well, it would have been different if we didn't mix in WCW.
Would it?
Yeah, because they're every other week, so they're more apart.
Mm.
But who knew it would take 2 years to watch all the WrestleManias? But it is crazy. We're almost at the end of it.
Yep.
We shall see what's next. But what is next for tonight is some stories. We got some good stories coming up today. We got Ricochet being a weirdo. We got Eric Bischoff and Tony Khan going back and forth. We got Ray Fenix sending cryptic ass tweets. Jacob Fatu is also on the news. But let's start with Ricochet. So, have you spent the time? Have you taken a little time and thanked Ricochet recently? Have you thanked him today, yesterday, anything like that?
I thank him before I go to bed each night.
There you go.
I ask for him to watch over Mommy and Poppy and...
As you should, because as you may or may not know, Ricochet is the reason AEW exists. Or at least that's what he thinks. Because he was doing this interview with, the hell's the name of it?
It was some radio station.
The Hot Tag. And this is like, a radio station in Chicago. They were doing an interview. This was for promotion for whatever's coming up for AEW. And they're doing this interview. And the interviewer, his name is Brady, if that matters. He asked Ricochet how he was adjusting to AEW. Because, as you know, he's come from WWE. And Ricochet, he says... he asked him how he was adjusting to AEW and how he's fitting in. And Ricochet, he says, he starts off pausing. He's like, I'm not saying I'm the sole reason. I'm just saying if there wasn't Ricochet, there wouldn't there would not be AEW. Again, I'm not saying I'm the sole reason that it happened, but I'm just saying Ricochet, and I'm not trying to. What? I'm not saying I'm the sole reason that it happened, but I'm just saying. So he did go on to credit, Will Ospreay, the Young Bucks. He credited Kenny Omega for actually getting the ground running on AEW, but more so what he's saying is like his style is what kind of started the whole AEW movement, if you will. But of course, this was a controversial statement, if you to say the least. So he's taking credit for AEW himself. Like, without me, without my style, this wouldn't exist. And as I was telling you, I don't know the timeline, but if he is saying that it's that style that kind of created AEW, he's not wrong. Not wrong at all. Because if you think about AEW, you got the Young Bucks, you got Kenny Omega, you got Will Ospreay. They all kind of fit that same style, which is like the more acrobatic type wrestling. And if he was the creator of that, yes, he is absolutely correct in his statement there.
I don't think he's the creator of it. And if anything, the style that AEW would be emulated after would be the Young Bucks.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. That's like the Ricochet style.
But that's not Ricochet's. The Young Bucks that probably weren't influenced by Ricochet.
They may have been doing it around the same time.
So it's not Ricochet's style. It's the style. It's the indie style.
But you can see what he's saying, though. Like the
no, flippy. I can't. He's wanting people to fucking look up to him and attribute shit to him that nobody thinks about Ricochet. Like Ricochet had some splash on Lucha Underground, and there was some buzz when he signed to WWE, but nobody fucking thinks about Ricochet. He's always been average. He's a good flipper, but he can't talk. He has no charisma. His ring announcer girlfriend's more attention seeking than he is.
That's true. Now, we do want to point out, or I want to point out, that it is possible that I'm learning that this may be character stuff, character work. All this may be character work. But the way he said it, the way he started it, and he's like, I'm just saying. And then he kind of stopped himself, and then the guy's like, no, go ahead and say it. It's like, you know what? There's not a AEW if there's not a Ricochet. So I think that moment there, he was like, maybe being a little bit more serious. Like he actually believed it.
I don't know.
But it is wild to even say that. When you get, like, you're pretty much compared to, Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay. So you're saying you created the style, but they do it better than you? I don't know.
I don't know. I just don't think. I don't think anybody looks up to Ricochet like that. At least, not like, because the Young Bucks had their own style. They were doing like the Meltzer drivers and shit. And Kenny Omega was like the first white dude to make it big in Japan. So they don't need fucking Ricochet style. I don't see any of their style or any of Ricochet's style in what they do.
Yeah, his style's more flippy than their style. Their style is more how many moves you can do.
I don't know. Ricochet is a bitch.
There you go. But let us know what you think of it in the comments. Is Ricochet delusional? Or does he have a point? Is he the creator of AEW? Should we all be kissing his toe? I don't know. Should we all be sucking off Ricochet for AEW? Now, speaking of AEW, Tony Khan has responded to Eric Bischoff. So, if you remember a couple weeks ago, we had that story where Eric Bischoff, I forgot exactly what he said, but he said some shit about AEW. And we did a video on it. Did pretty good. So
said Dixie's better than
yeah, Dixie. He compared Tony Khan to Dixie Carter, said she was better. Well, he kind of.
And after that, he said like AEW fucking sucks, ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, so he kind of doubled down on it. He was on the Ariel Helwani show, and Ariel, he asked him more about that, and he said they're horrible. There's no hope for them. Nothing's going to turn the company around. There's no light bulb going to go off on anybody's head and realize, oh, this is actually getting people who watch TV. They have no idea about what they're doing, and they're too stubborn to learn. Helwani, he butted in and he asked Eric Bischoff, well, is there one big story like a NWO story that could turn things around for AEW? And Eric Bischoff said, there's nobody there who knows what a story actually is, so no. He did also he also talked on his podcast. This is the 83 Weeks podcast. And he even went into more. He pretty much said the same thing, but the one addition he added was AEW doesn't have a talent problem. It has a Tony Khan problem, which I thought was a good line. I wanted to highlight that. They don't have a talent problem. They have a Tony Khan problem. Like, if he got out of the way, which almost gets to the point where I was like, is it time for Tony to, and he'd never do it, but like, is it time for him to step down and let someone else take over creative? Again, he'd probably never do that, but
I think the second that Punk allegedly had Tony try to be a boss with the whole Jack Perry shit, and he didn't, I think that would have been the time for him to step down and let somebody who had the balls to do it make those decisions.
Yeah, it was around that time where it was like, okay. I keep remembering that one line where it's like, where Punk was like, I'm trying to run a business here, and you got these dipshits who couldn't manage the target.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, as far as Tony Khan, we do have a reply from him. This is actually a reply from today. Now, he was on the... I don't have my credit here. Sorry. He was on some show. Doesn't matter. He was on some show. Oh, the Yeah, I don't have my credit. Sorry. Whoever it was, sorry about that. But he was on. We'll get it in the comments, or I'm sorry, in the description to properly credit.
Oh, I'm sure we will.
But Tony Khan, he in a response, he was asked, why does he think that Eric Bischoff has an agnostic relationship with AEW? Tony Khan went on to say, I have no idea.
Whoa, was that antagonistic?
Sure. I don't know what I said.
You said agnostic?
Okay. Antagonistic, yes.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. Just he says, why does Bischoff have a antagonistic relationship with AEW? Says, I have no idea. I don't really care what he says. We have done really, really well, and we have a great thing going with AEW, and something to be really proud of. We're not only, for years to come, going to be on the TBS and TNT, but we're going to set the record for the longest running pro wrestling ever on TNT. It's pretty amazing because for a company only 5 years old, we've accomplished so much. We set the world record for wrestling ticket sales.
Still on that.
And we're gonna go into this new media rights deal starting January 1st. Every week you can watch Dynamite still on TBS, but we're going to be live streaming on Max, which is news to me. I thought they were going to be on Max, so I know they're going to live stream there, which is the top streaming platform, and I think the best streaming platform. Shots fired at Netflix. We're going to have AEW every week, Wednesday night and Saturday night on Max, in addition to TNT. It's really important for us because cable is massive for sports and wrestling. TNT and TBS are staples of cable, as Eric himself knows very well. But it's really important for the future also to have a foothold in streaming. And that's where we're going to have AEW on.
So what did he say about Bischoff?
That was it. And then
he doesn't think about Bischoff?
I think AEW is doing fantastic.
Okay. So he's sucking his own dick.
Well, that's typical Tony Khan. But the part about Bischoff was, I have no idea, and I don't really care what he says.
Yeah. Oh, man, that was a burn. That was worth printing.
I know, right? Well, that's that's how the business goes. He says, I don't care, which obviously is probably a lie. I wouldn't say. I would think he does care, since he's so far like didn't a couple weeks he, spent time caring about a little podcaster. Mm-hmm. Now you're gonna say you don't care what Eric Bischoff says, like one of the leaders of the
right. Oh, he cares.
One of the best minds in wrestling, was.
If Tony Khan wanted to get him on their next pay-per-view, he needs to challenge Eric Bischoff to a fight in the middle of the ring.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah. But it has to be that pay-per-view.
I don't think Eric Bischoff would do it, though.
Well, he couldn't do it. He's in Wyoming. They're not going to go to a pay-per-view in Wyoming. That's the idea. So you're in like Tampa, Florida. Eric Bischoff, get out here right now, you coward. I'll whoop your ass. Then he says a whole bunch of, just let Tony go mad. Use his platform to just tear into Bischoff. And give him 10 minutes. And then at the end of 10 minutes, see, I told you he was a pussy.
Yeah, you're a coward. And that's the thing, like, I don't know. I always say it's obviously Eric Bischoff. He just knows how to generate interest in whatever himself.
Yeah.
So the cool thing is to shit on AEW. So,
and he is focused on that with both barrels.
Yes.
He even posts pictures of Tony Khan on his Twitter feed.
He does. He said something else about Tony Khan too, but yeah, he's just like, and my thing, and I always go back to like, if someone's shtick is to always shit on something, what are you? How can you credibly take, or how can you take their opinion as credible?
Well, I think it's a little bit different for Bischoff because as AEW was formulating, Tony Khan was saying how he's not going to make the same stupid mistakes that Bischoff was going to do or did. And lo and behold, 5 years later, and I think we can like make a list of all the quote unquote mistakes that Bischoff did that Tony Khan blatantly repeated.
Yeah.
So
Definitely
I think
history repeating
I think the
itself.
arrogance is what triggered Bischoff more than I don't. I mean, maybe to an extent he does, but I don't think just him being insulted by Tony Khan did it. I think it was more of he thought he was going to come in and do it better, having no experience.
Yeah. The funny root of it is, it seems like this all started after Eric Bischoff was on AEW one week. Like he did. They brought him in for something with Chris Jericho, and then this seemingly started after that.
Huh?
It was just funny.
Well, maybe there's more to it then.
Yeah, but let us know what side you're on that. Interested to see where the comments go on that. But on that note, it's time for your favorite segment. It's time for my favorite segment. It's time for everybody's favorite segment. It's time for Cheap Pops.
What does everybody want? What does everybody need? What does everybody love?
Well, that cheap pop is there for the taking.
That's right, everybody. Welcome to Cheap Pops. Coming up on today's Cheap Pops, The Rock misses maybe WrestleMania. Jacob Fatu goes not PG, and Ray Fenix is starting to sing like a canary. And we're gonna start with The Rock. So, I'm gonna go ahead and spoil it. So, I want you to know right off the bat that this is a false story. But the story as it may be, The Rock is set to miss WrestleMania 41.
So if it's a false story, why are we talking about it? If we know that it's fake news, why are we making news out of it?
Well, I'm not saying it's fake news. I'm just saying
you said it was a false story. What other variation of false is there?
I believe that the people behind this actually believe it.
Okay.
And there's more and more people starting to pick up on this story. But yeah, the WWE has decided to move forward creative plans as if The Rock will not appear at WrestleMania. As of now, WrestleMania 41, that is. I've been informed that these plans could change at any moment, and WWE is definitely interested in using him if he becomes available, but he's currently not scheduled to compete. That is the story. And like I said, there's a lot of sources, or not a lot of sources, but a lot of publications and whatnot, people in the business picking up on this. So I don't believe it. I don't think I think maybe this information is true. Maybe someone's been told that. Maybe the seed's been planted. Oh yeah, The Rock's not going to be at WrestleMania. Oddly enough, remember several weeks ago, Meltzer said something about it, and The Rock said that's bullshit.
Yeah.
And now here it is cycling itself back. But Yeah, it's just interesting. I guess the reason we're bringing up on our cheap pops here is because it's gaining a lot of steam.
Well, I guess if I were to play devil's advocate, I could see The Rock completely abandoning WWE for some stupid movie.
Stupid.
Yeah.
You know, we have the live action Moana coming up, which is I don't even know why they're doing a live action Moana.
Oh boy.
We just had Moana 2. And
which is getting terrible reviews, but for some reason the box office numbers are up there.
well, it's not for the people who are reviewing it. This is not a movie for adults.
Adults can like cartoons.
But it's not for them.
A good story is a good story.
Well, I was looking at some of the complaints, and the complaints were that, well, I don't want to spoil anything. I'm not going to spoil anything.
Fuck it, spoil it.
Maui doesn't show up until the end of the movie. That's what I've heard.
How is that that's not a valid criticism?
I mean, maybe it is, but
that's something. First of all, that's something a kid would say. Oh, The Rock wasn't in it until the very end. This movie sucks.
Well, I did a little digging on Moana. You know, it was supposed to actually be a TV series.
Yeah.
And then, so it was filmed as a TV series, and then they said, actually, we're going to send it to the box office. Because we need, Disney, we need it right now.
Yeah.
We ain't doing too good.
Oh, and they're about to release Snow White that's going to get hammered.
Yeah. I mean, that Snow White bitch keeps running her mouth. Apparently, she's trying to sabotage that movie so hard.
Oh, she already did. And then the dude, the midget from Game of Thrones, Peter Dinklage, he fucked them too, because they originally were going to have real dwarves. But Dinklage is like, no, that's whatever fucking woke garbage fucking reason it is. And Hornswoggle even came on. I think he was on like Fox News or some shit. He's like, well, that's good for Peter Dinklage. He was in Game of fucking Thrones and Nip Tuck and all these successful shows. I'm fucking Hornswoggle. I need this shit. It's not for, it's not for him to decide. He's not the king of the midgets.
Oh no, they're going at each other. Hey, you don't speak for us.
Yeah.
They need a Rodney King of midgets.
It could be Hornswoggle.
Us black people, whenever there's something we're on the fence of, we have to look to Rodney King. How should we feel about this? Speak for all of us.
Was Rodney King still alive?
I'm sorry, Jesse Jackson.
Yeah, that's I knew who you were talking about too, and I even fucking said it.
Yeah, Jesse Jackson.
He died, didn't he?
I don't know.
Let's find out. Yeah, he did. No, wait, no. Hold on.
No, I think Jesse Jackson.
Oh, I thought he died.
Is still alive, telling us what we should all be.
He's really old.
Yeah.
I don't see him anymore.
Yeah, he's been quiet lately.
I know. Oh,
I'm sure he'll be back.
Oh, no, he traveled to Minnesota for the George Floyd shit. Oh, okay, yeah, he's still around. Just, I guess Sharpton is, he has a TV show and shit.
Al Sharpton?
Yeah.
Huh.
Still doing his scam. Anyway. But yeah, Hornswoggle was pissed off at Peter Dinklage, and Peter Dinklage cock-blocked other midgets from being in the movie about midgets. So
yeah, there you go. And how that ties back to the Rock. Oh, because Disney's going through it right now. So
yeah,
that's why Moana 2 had to go to the movie theaters because
Yep.
they needed it.
yeah. Because
And
was
then-
Red One Disney? No, it wasn't Disney.
I don't think so, no.
There was too many swear words for Disney.
But on that note, let's talk about some swear words because Netflix, well, I should say Nick Khan, they were doing a panel, him and Triple H, and he talked about Netflix and how Raw's going to look when they go to Netflix. And he says, we are not changing the rating of our program. There's some, this is Nick Khan. So there's some online chatter about, oh, it's going to be rated R, or they're going to use, I'm sorry, it's going to be rated R for us old folks, like X-rated. That's definitely not happening. So it's family friendly, multi-generational.
Oh, it's either rated R or X rated. It's not. It's not rated R like X rated.
Well, that's what he said.
Well, he's an idiot.
Well, no. He said for us old folks, we remember X-rated. The young folks, they just have the R rating.
Actually, it's like TVMA today.
Yeah. These young kids don't know about no X-rated.
You get that NC-17.
They don't know about the Cinemax at 3 a.m. But he says it's definitely not happening. So it's family-friendly, multi-generational, advertiser-friendly programming. It's going to stay that way. I would look for more global flair, especially as the relationship with Netflix continues to develop. So there you have it. Raw is not going to, everybody had it built up that, oh, when they go to Netflix, we're going to like.
No, they built it up like they were going to have a more mature fucking program. And now you got a happy X-rater over here saying, oh, no, it's going to be the same thing. Just the only difference is we're going to be expanding globally. Fuck.
I don't remember them. Who said? I don't remember anybody specifically saying, oh, yeah, it's going to be. I remember Triple H saying, like,
Not that they're going to say, like, fuck and, show titties or anything, but they're going to be more, I don't know, edgier. They started saying shit and stuff on TV.
Yeah, but that was for WrestleMania season. And
they were implying that would carry over to Netflix.
I don't remember them saying that.
Okay.
I just, yes, it was announced that they were going to Netflix. WrestleMania season was happening, so it was much edgier. And I think as a community, we put it together. Oh, yeah, this is what's going to happen when it gets to Netflix. It's going to be this and more. Like, we're not going back to bra and panties matches, unfortunately. As, after this past War Games match, I think that would be the best for the women's division. But fortunately, it's not going to happen. Like, yeah, there's going to be, maybe the cuss word thing, we could have had more of that. But, like, look at this past Raw. I would say this past Raw was pretty good. It's PG.
You say the Raw was good?
Yeah.
Oh,
like
okay.
The CM Punk and that stuff, the New Day stuff.
Okay, fair enough.
And it was PG, so, you didn't need cuss words. Maybe it adds more to it, but...
Well, you don't need them to go out and say fucking shit and stuff, but, I mean, a little blood, a little heavier language, like son of a bitch. Maybe use shit like fuck in PG-13 movies where you get one of them.
Yeah. I remember there was a South Park episode where it was like, oh yeah, we can say it like this many times, and they like went to the line.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just didn't think it was.
Well, I think
wasn't surprised.
I think it's disappointing because they're making this big fanfare about going to Netflix, and for us, it's just going to be like them going from USA to UPN. Like the content's just going to be as shitty.
Yeah, I guess I can see that. For me, it's just more of like I was more surprised that people are surprised that it was going to happen.
Because I'm telling you, they've kind of led us to believe that it was going to be a more serious product. If not directly WWE, then the people publishing shit that WWE reports.
Yeah. I mean, I think it'll change. I just don't think it's going to change. Like, it's definitely going to change because you can already tell Netflix is like, hey, we paid a lot of money for this. We better get it right. Like, there's reports that, now, I don't know how credible these reports are, but there's reports that, like, Cody Rhodes and Gunther are going to be switching shows. So Gunther's going to SmackDown. Cody's going to Raw because it's going to be the A show. There was a thing that they want Roman Reigns and like CM Punk. They want them all on Raw. So I'm gonna say, yeah, Netflix is definitely gonna want all hands on deck.
And that should just
$5 billion.
And that just illustrates how much Triple H has failed. That Netflix does not want Gunther.
Well, I guess that is. I didn't even think about that. Get this Austrian out of here. Yeah. Give us Cody.
Can't even understand what he says.
Yeah, I guess I didn't look at it as him just being cast away.
Well,
like we need the real champion over here.
And in reality, he should be the one that everybody clamors over to get right now. And Triple H failed.
Yeah. Now, again, that's just a rumor. So
just like he failed Priest and he failed Gunther.
But yeah, that is just a rumor. But if you've watched SmackDown and Gunther was there for no damn reason.
No reason.
I guess you can see how they get to that conclusion.
Unless they're booking him to run away from Braun Breaker for calling him a bitch.
Seemingly, yeah. I don't know what they're doing. But yeah, well, we might be looking at that. He goes to SmackDown and Cody goes to Raw. But the rating is not changing. And yeah, I mean, ultimately it does make sense because they're making hand over fist money. And I don't know why they would jeopardize that.
I mean, they could make a little bit more if they just got a little bit more serious. Got rid of some of the kid shit. Maybe less fucking no talent Dupree in the back saying Otis. Show some men being men.
They just want to keep appealing to their advertisers, I guess. I don't know.
Well, I wish they would appeal to fans.
Yeah, that would be a good thing to do. But our next story goes to Ray Fenix. I'll be honest, there's not really much to go on here. But it is something worth mentioning. So Ray Fenix, he's been taken to Twitter. He's been teasing that he's going to be talking soon. As you know, the whole thing about him being held in his contract and kept off of TV. So he recently took to Twitter, and the tweet was, No one stays in a place where they received inhumane treatment. That was the tweet. Cryptic ass tweet, obviously.
So wait, he's implying that he's getting inhumane treatment from AEW?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a developing story here because that was the only thing he said. But it's going to be interesting to see what exactly he means by that. He also said that he's going to be able to talk soon. So I don't know. It's just an interesting thing all around it. I just wanted to throw it out there because it's something's brewing.
Okay. I guess I'll
can't
reserve an opinion for when there's more than that.
Yeah. There's nothing to expand on because it's cryptic ass and no one knows what that means yet.
Okay.
And then our last just funny story. So if you remember on SmackDown, you had the Bloodline. They came out. They beat up LA Knight and Andrade. Not Shinsuke. He escaped. Well, there was some fan footage as the Bloodline was leaving. These were some adult fans. They were heckling the Bloodline as you would. One guy, he yelled at Jacob Fatu, "Hey, Jacob Fatu, you suck." And as Jacob Fatu is passing, he says to the fan, "Yo mama suck dick." and then the fan's like, the other guy's like, "What did he just say to you?" So it's just funny that he just went all un-PG on that fan. And they were surprised, like, what? But yeah, that's just a funny note.
That is funny. Let's see if I can find it.
I don't think anything will happen from it, but
no.
Like, yeah, him getting in trouble or anything, but just more so funny. I'm trying to see if I have it bookmarked on our Twitter.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see, Jesse. I don't know how do you do bookmarks?
You click on the circle. Wait, you're on computer?
Yeah.
I'm not sure on computer. But you can try clicking on the circle, like the profile picture.
Mind. There we go. Let me see.
Yeah, there it is.
Mommy said this.
You will never
Solo!
be
I acknowledge you, Solo! I acknowledge you! Shut up!
You suck, Jacob!
Tell him! Mommy said this.
Like, he just slipped that right in.
He didn't hesitate.
Yeah, it was almost like he didn't even, like, the fact that he even heard them say something. Because he was pretty far away when they said, "You suck, Jacob."
What would you do if he just started approaching you like that?
Run.
I would start pointing at you.
Up.
It was him. Well, wasn't me.
Yeah, what'd you say? Nothing.
Yes, sir.
I didn't say nothing. But on that note, if you agree with anything, let us know in the comments below. If you disagree with anything, let us know in the comments below. On your way, I'll hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Shout out to the commenters, Toronto 95, whatever. And is there anything else?
Just have a good night.
And survey says one more for the good guys.